And a very good morning and welcome to the Sunday, 3rd of November 2024, 8:41 a.m. and the first Sunday of the month of November. Mo kí gbogbo wa ní gbogbo ibi tí ohùn mi bá ti ń jáde sọ́dọ̀ yín ní gbogbo àgbáyé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìkànnì wa tó dá dúró fún Yorùbá self-determination under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akitoye. Mo kí wa pé a kú ọ̀sẹ̀ tuntun tí a fẹ́ wọnú ẹ̀. Orúkọ tèmi ni wọ́n ń pè ní OLAYOMI KOIKI tí gbogbo yẹn mọ̀ sí Koikimedia. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wa kí ẹ dẹ̀ bá wa pín ètò náà kó lè káàkiri. Awareness la ṣe ń ṣe láti lè sọ ìdí tí a ṣe fẹ́ dá dúró. Ìdí tí a dẹ̀ ṣe fẹ́ dá dúró ó pọ̀ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí gbogbo wa ti ṣe mọ̀ pé ìran Yorùbá ti ń exist for thousands of years kó tó di pé Britain colonize Nigeria, kó tó di pé Britain amalgamate Nigeria, kó tó di pé Britain interfere nínú independent Nigeria ní 1960, kó tó di pé Britain ò jáwọ́ kúrò nínú Nigeria títí di wákàtí tí a wà yìí. So gẹ́gẹ́ bí iṣẹ́ tí ilé-iṣẹ́ ìgbédání òun ni láti polongo fún ẹni tó fẹ́ gbọ́ àtẹni tó fẹ́ gbọ́ pé ìran Yorùbá àsìkò tó ká padà sórí ilẹ̀ wa. Kò síbi kankan tá à ń lọ. Ilẹ̀ Haúsá kọ́ là ń jà fún, ilẹ̀ Ìgbò kọ́ là ń jà fún. Kò ń ṣe European countries ló ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, àwa la níbẹ̀. Àmọ́ tásìkò bá tó olúkálùkù á mọ ìgbésẹ̀ tó fẹ́ gbé. Let me also put this out. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó lè máa wá bá wa lẹ́yìn pé àwọn ní problem and expect pé ká sort problem yìí out. Bí ẹ ṣe ní problem ní gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá náà ní problem ní Nàìjíríà. Ẹni tó bá rí lè san ẹ jáde kẹ́ lọ ṣe tó yẹ kẹ́ ṣe fáwọn olóṣèlú yín. Ẹni tó bá lé kúrò nínú ilé tó bá ní another option, Koikimedia ń ṣe ilé-iṣẹ́ tó lè sanwó ilé fún yín. Ìdí tá ṣe ń pariwo pé Nàìjíríà ó ti wà in a very critical stage. Many ọmọ Yorùbá máa jìyà ká tó débi tá ń lọ nítorí pé ìjọba tẹ́ wà nínú ẹ̀ ìjọba tí kò láǹfààní kankan tó fi ṣe fún ọmọ Yorùbá. A kìlọ̀ fún gbogbo ara wa kó tó di pé a lọ selection. Ó ń ṣe Yorùbá nation kò fún mi ní right pé mo gbọ́dọ̀ tọ́jú ẹ̀. Èmi kọ́ ni government, èmi kọ́ ni ìjọba, èmi ni media tí mo feel pé èyí tí mo gbé dání ó necessary. So tẹ́ bá wá ń bá wa lẹ́yìn pé nǹkan kan ṣe yín tá a bá ní kankan tá lè ṣe sí ẹ má fi ṣèbínú torí èmi náà ní family tèmi ní Nàìjíríà tó jẹ́ pé láàárọ̀ yìí tó bá rí 1 million wàá gbà lọ́wọ́ mi, tó bá rí 10,000. So ẹni tá bá fún àtẹni tá fún èmi kọ́ ni responsibility yín. Ìdí tẹ́ ṣe ní government nìyẹn. Ẹni tó bá wá feel pé government òun ò ní kankan tó fẹ́ ṣe, ìwọ náà lè sacrifice ara ẹ fún ìran ẹ gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ṣe ṣe ní ìkànnà àwọn Arab country tẹ́nìyẹn dáná sun rẹ̀ kó tó di pé Arab Spring ó spring up. Tó bá dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ó lè ṣe yẹn ǹtẹ́ ẹ bá lè ṣe láti fi survive nínú Nàìjíríà. Ẹ má gbé bùkátà yín wá bá mi. Èmi náà ní bùkátà tèmi tí mò ń nurse. Mo ní problem tèmi tí mò ń tọ́jú. Problem tí mo gbé dání is very big and I don't want any other person. Mo ń ṣe Yorùbá nation. A ti ń ṣe Yorùbá nation. Yorùbá nation kọ́ ló dá gbogbo problem yín sílẹ̀. Torí Yorùbá nation kọ́ ló ti lose iṣẹ́ Nàìjíríà ni. Má wá fún mi ní excuses pé torí òun ṣe Yorùbá nation ìtorí ẹ̀ ní iṣẹ́ ṣe bọ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Irọ́ ló ń pa. Nigeria economy is dead. Ó dẹ̀ ti kú tipẹ́. So gbogbo pé ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ Yorùbá nation ẹ wá fi máa fi yẹn ṣe camouflage àbí excuse. I'm not buying into that. I don't have sympathy for that. Tẹ́ bá rí àwọn tó lè support yín fair enough. Èmi kọ́ ni problem yín. Mọ̀mísí mi rí problem lọ ṣe gbé mi náà kúrò ní Nàìjíríà ní 25 years ago. So pé à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation torí ẹ̀ ni mo ṣe lose ilé mi gbogbo yẹn àwáwí ni o. àwáwí ni gbogbo yẹn, ìyẹn ò jẹ mí. Bí a ní 2 years ago tá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń bí owó tá à ń fún yín lọ́tún tá à ń fún yín lósì, kò sí yẹn mọ́. Gbogbo eléyìí tó kù fún wa nísìn ni pé gbogbo ẹni tí yà ń jẹ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nínú Nàìjíríà tó jọmọ Yorùbá, ẹni tó bá ń wẹ̀ láti ṣe fún olóṣèlú yín ni kó lọ ṣe. Èmi kọ́ ni máa sọ tó máa ṣe. Problem tiẹ̀ nìyẹn. Ẹni tí mo gbé dání kí n create awareness, ká dẹ̀ bẹ Ọlọ́run kó gbàdúrà wa, kó wọlá inú pé ìyà ń jẹ̀ràn wa làwa ṣe jáde. Bí n bá gbé nílùú yìí for the next 30 years, ebi ò ní pa mí, ìyà ò dẹ̀ ní jẹ mí, nítorí pé mọ̀mísí mi ṣiṣẹ́ láti lé mi kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà ní 25 years ago. Ṣé má gbé bùkátà yín wá bá mi o. Bẹ́ bá wá, màá kọ́ máa sọ fún yín pé sorry ni. Tí sorry yẹn ò bá tẹ́ yín lọ́rùn, ẹni olóṣèlú ẹ lọ bá wọn. Gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì Nàìjíríà fún àwọn ìjọba ní allocation ní every month láti fi ṣètọ́jú state kọ̀ọ̀kan. Àìtí gba country, ní government. Ẹni tó wà ní UK ó ń pè mí, báwo la ṣe lè rí owó, àwọn fi sanwó immigration. Yorùbá ò tí ní government. Owó tán ní kó máa dá, àwọn nǹkan ọ̀dá. Èlò lówó ọ̀hún tó wà ń bẹ̀. Tá bá ní kó fún wa ní estimate gbogbo tó wà nù tó ń dá nísìn, kò wọ 10 million naira. Ṣé inú 10 million naira yẹn la máa fún ẹni tó fẹ́ application pẹ̀lú home office? Ẹni tí mo bá sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá, ó ní di 10,000 pounds. Last year lòun àti ìyàwó ẹ̀ dé pẹ̀lú ọmọ 4. Mo sọ iye ọmọ yẹn fún yín lánàá. Ọmọ 4 lọ́jọ́ dé láti Nàìjíríà. Látara pé wọ́n wá ṣe postgraduate, wọ́n ti há sílùú yìí nísìn. Àwọn sì bẹ́tà jù wọ́n lọ tó wà Nàìjíríà. Tí wọn náà bá lè rí ọ̀nà láti jápa ní kíákíá, torí pé ìyà máa jẹ yín gan ká tó débi tá à ń lọ. The longer tá bá ń pẹ́ sínú Nàìjíríà, the longer ni òṣì àti ìṣẹ́ ló máa mú yín. Kò ń ṣèpè. Torí pé gbogbo eléyìí la ṣe sọ pé ká prepare, ká jẹ́ kí pain yẹn kó ṣẹlẹ̀, ká lè move out. So ẹ má kó problem yín wá bá mi. Èmi kọ́ ni government Yorùbá nation. Àìrètí níjọba, àìtí ní government, àìtí ní government. Kò dẹ̀ tí síbi tó sọ pé wọ́n ti declare Yorùbá nation pé ìjọba ń run. Tá bá ní government wa máa ní access sí resources ilẹ̀ yẹn láti fi ṣètọ́jú fún gbogbo wa. But since tá àìtí ní government, kò sí kankan tá lè ṣe ju pé ká bẹ Ọlọ́run. But Ọlọ́run ò ní sọ̀kalẹ̀ wá. Àwa ara wa náà la máa mọ̀ tá máa ṣe. Èmi ò lè máa jáde torí pé ẹ fẹ́ gbọ́ pé ká lọ jà ìyẹn kọ́. No. Ìwọ náà gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ tó fẹ́ ṣe. So àbọ̀ràn la ń sọ fún ọmọlúàbí tó bá dé náà kò dédé. Ẹni tó wà ní UK tó dé ní last year, ó ń wá 10,000 pounds nísìn láti fi renew ìwé. Bó ṣe rí nìyẹn. Torí pé lọ́kàn ara yín ẹ rò pé tẹ́ bá dé UK wà kọ́ rẹ̀ 10,000 pounds yẹn, òun ni salary ẹlòmíì ní ọdún kan. Àwọn dẹ̀ need ẹ̀ nísìn láti fi gbé application wọlé because wọ́n ti get stuck. Àná ni mo bẹ́ nìyẹn sọ̀rọ̀. But ìyàtọ̀ kan ni pé ibi báyìí, in tó máa ṣe mo ti sọ fún, kò ṣe ti máa sọ lórí social media. Ẹni tó bá ti wọlé, ó sì sàn ju ẹni tó ì tí wọlé lọ. Tí wọn náà bá ráyè rápálá wọlé, in tó máa ṣe máa sọ fún ẹ. But mo ní sọ yẹn. Má wàá bá mi pé mo fẹ́ wá sí UK. Problem tiẹ̀ nìyẹn. Ọ̀nà tó bá fẹ́ fi wá sí UK ni kó wá bó ṣe fẹ́ wá. I am not a visa agent. Mo kì í ṣe agent. Mo dẹ̀ ń ṣe motivational talker yín. Èmi fẹ́ break up Nigeria ni. Òun nìfẹ́ tó wà lọ́kàn mi bá ṣe máa break ẹ̀. Ogun la máa jà ni, a máa gbà báyìí peace ni. I don't care. So tẹ́ ẹ bá ti lè accept yẹn pé kí gbogbo akájọ fọwọ́ ṣe, Ìgbòho ní kọ́kọ́ ló máa ṣe. Gbogbo alájọ máa support Ìgbòho. Nígbà tí wọ́n tó sọ fẹ́ lómi pé Yorùbá nation wà. So bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn o. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí.
Happy first Sunday of the month. Yeah, White Lion. Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. Ẹ kú iṣẹ́. Ọlọ́run yóò fi borí ìṣiṣẹ́ náà. Ẹni ṣe lásán. Àtẹ̀yìn àti bàbá wa àgbà. Adébánjí Akíntóyè. Bàbá dáadáa bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa ń sọ bàbá rere. Bàbá onínúure. Bàbá oníwàáre. Ọlọ́gbọ́n jùlọ. bàbá wa Májàsọ́lá Adéyẹmọ Sunday Igboho Adéyẹmọ àtẹ̀yìn àti gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń fi tọkàntọkàn sáré àlàáfíà fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, sáré ìrọ̀rùn, sáré ìtura, sáré ìdàgbàsókè, sáré káyé ó yẹ ní, ayé yóò yẹ yín o, ayé yóò yẹ yín, ayé yóò yẹ yín, ẹ nífọ̀kànbalẹ̀, gbogbo wa là ń nífọ̀kànbalẹ̀, Ọlọ́run yóò sì bá a mú wá sí ìmúṣẹ, gbogbo eré ìje yìí kò ní já sásán. Ọlọ́run tó yàn yín, tó yan bàbá wa Sunday Igboho Òòṣà, tó sì dá bàbá wa Adébánjí Akíntóyè lọ́lọ́gbọ́n bí ọgbọ́n orí wọn, bí ọjọ́ orí wọn ṣe tó tí ọgbọ́n wọn ò jọba, yóò bá wa kọ́wọ́ ti gbogbo eré ìje yìí ní kíá ní kò pẹ́ kó jìnnà. Ọlọ́run yóò sì fi oore ọ̀fẹ́ ìsinmi nínú àlàáfíà, nínú ìdùnnú yóò fi fún gbogbo wa o. Èmi náà rí ìròyìn yẹn lánàá lójú tẹlifíṣàn gbígbà. Nǹkan tó kọ́kọ́ wá sọ́kàn mi náà, òun náà lẹ sọ yìí. Mo ti rí ní bí mo ṣe tàn fún mi ṣe ó ti gbé information wá fún mi pé ẹ ti ṣe program lé lórí, ẹ ti béèrè pé ṣé arábìnrin máa lè jẹ́ jásí ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àgbà ládùúrà Ọlọ́run yóò fi ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá sí lọ́kàn, torí pé nǹkan tí a bá ní tí a mọ̀ òun ló ń jẹni lógún. Ibi tí a gbé tí a tọ́wò òun là ń mọ̀ bóyá ó kàn àbí ó korò. À ń fẹ́ kó dùn, à ń fẹ́ kó kí bó ṣe rí lẹ́nu kó bóyá kó dáa sí ni, bóyá kó dùn sí ni, bóyá kíyọ̀ tó ni àbí iyọ̀ ti já. Àwọn tí wọ́n bí sí òkè òkun ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ò mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ níbi tí à ń pè ní Nàìjíríà rárá, bí a tilẹ̀ ń sọ fún wọn. Irú ẹ̀yin sì ẹgbẹ́ bí ẹ kúrò. Àwọn tó ṣe bíi tiyín tó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé wọ́n bí síbí náà wọ́n dàgbà wọ́n tó kúrò. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan tẹ́ ń ṣe yìí kò kàn wọ́n rárá o. Àwọn tí wọ́n wà ń bí tó jẹ́ pé àdúrà kí wọ́n lo oore ọ̀fẹ́ kó fi Nàìjíríà sílẹ̀, kó má padà, kó má bojú ẹ̀. Àwọn ló pọ̀ jù, àwọn ọ̀dájú pọ̀. Iṣẹ́ ni mò ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ ara mi, tí mò ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn pé ṣé Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ wá ṣe ìpinnu láti máa dá àwọn èèyàn burúkú sí ibi tí à ń pè ní Nàìjíríà yìí ni? Torí kẹtó bá ẹni tí ó ní ìwà tó dáa pàdé, mi ò wá mọ̀. Èmi gbà pé situation of things ló sọ wọ́n dà bẹ́ẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n ó ti pọ̀jù nínú ìwà àwa èèyàn dúdú. Pé títí wa bá ti dáa, tí bàbá wa Májàsọ́lá, tí bàbá wa Adébánjí Akíntóyè, tí bàbá mi tí mò ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ yìí àtàwọn tó ń fi tọkàntọkàn sáré pé kí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó dà, tí ẹ fi yàtọ̀. Torí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ táyé títí wọn, àwọn gan tó jẹ́ pé torí pọ́mọ wọn ò sí níbí tó ń gbà pé iye dọ́là àbí pound tó ń bá ti fi ránṣẹ́ sí wọn, wọ́n wà òkè. Gbogbo ìdààmú tó ṣẹ́kù tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo kálukú tó wà bí là ń ṣe gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni bá ti wà ní Nàìjíríà, èèyàn lówó kò lówó, orí jẹ orí jẹ, orí mu orí mu, àti lálàáfíà àti ní ìrọ̀rùn. Kọ́mọ́dé ìrọ̀rùn yẹn pé à ń jáde báyìí láàárọ̀ ibi tí mo wà ń sìn, dọ́ọ̀sì tó wà ní ọ̀nà àdúgbò yẹn ọ̀nà tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ti ń construct tán fi about 3 kilometres tán fi sílẹ̀ láàrin méjì tí wọ́n ṣe títí dè ní àwọn machine wọn wà níta ní ojú títì ń bẹ̀ wọ́n fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ ìgbà míì for a whole month wọn ní wá tó bá yá wọ́n tún lè wá wọ́n á wá kólẹ̀ wọ́n á dalẹ̀ wọ́n á ṣe gbá wọ́n á kàn ṣe bó ṣe jágbajàgba ìgbà tí wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ òun ní láti yẹ ìdààmú tán kó bá wa lójú àdúgbò ẹ wò ó kọjá sísọmọ ń bá lóore ọ̀fẹ́ ta lè ríra lójúkojú màá ròyìn ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá ṣùgbọ́n síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ àdúrà kábọ́ Ọlọ́run fún wa ṣe òun náà ni mò ń gbà lọ́sàn-án mò ń gbà lóru mò ń gbà kọ́lọ́run tú wa sílẹ̀ mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ kékeré ni tèmi nínú àwọn tó ń gbàdúrà ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tó gbà jù mí wọ́n gbà náà Ọlọ́run á ṣàánú fún wa á jẹ́ kádùúrà wa gbà á lè bọ́ lọ́wọ́ ogun ìdààmú àtàwọn bá ní ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá lòdì sífẹ̀ẹ́ pé kí alálàáfíà kọ́lọ́run bá a mú mọ́ṣẹ́ ṣe kó gbà wá sílẹ̀ ká lè jogún ìrọ̀rùn ẹ ṣé o ẹ kú iṣẹ́ a sì fi àdúrà kẹ́mi bádé náà a fi sí àmúmọ́ra àdúrà wa Ọlọ́run ló lọ́kàn bá ti jòyè Ọlọ́run àbá ọkàn ẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ torí pé gbogbo nǹkan tá a máa ń sọ náà ní pé kì í ṣe ẹnikẹ́ni bá ti wà nípò a máa sọ àní kì í ṣe òun nìkan kò lè dá ṣe oore ọ̀fẹ́ láti lè ṣe Ọlọ́run á fi sí lọ́kàn Ọlọ́run lò fún àǹfààní pé kílẹ̀ Yorùbá kó di bí ìlú náà gan fúnra rẹ̀ gan kó lu Ọlọ́run fi sí lọ́kàn pé ibi téèyàn ti ṣàn wá ibẹ̀ là ń pè nílé oore ọ̀fẹ́ àǹfààní bẹ́ẹ̀ Ọlọ́run bá fi sí lọ́kàn á jẹ́ kí iṣẹ́ wa lè yá adúpẹ́ o ẹ kú iṣẹ́ o Ọlọ́run ràn wá ṣe o ẹ kú ìsinmi ẹ bá ń káwọn èèyàn mi ń bẹ̀ o ẹ bá ń káwọn ọmọ Oòduà àtìyá wọn ẹ bá ń kí ìyàwó àgbà náà ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun.
ìtẹ̀gbọ́n yẹn lára àwọn èèyàn wa tó wà ní Nàìjíríà lára àwọn ìyá wa tí Nàìjíríà tó ti ṣe ní jàǹbá tó pọ̀ ìyà tí àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù ń jẹ nílé ìyà yẹn ò ní stop àfi tá a bá kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà bọ́ tí ẹ̀yin kan bá wá sọ pé ìyà yẹn tẹ́ yín lọ́rùn pé ká má kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà kò sí nǹkan kan tá a lè ṣe sí. Let's start the program like this. Mo kí gbogbo apá àkójọkò and happy Sunday. If all goes as planned, a ní Àdìgún Mákànjúọlá pẹ̀lú bàbá Fatai Ògúnríbidó tó máa darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní aago méje and I believe that will be aago méje Nigerian time or Yoruba time because ẹ̀yin ti wà láago mẹ́wàá àwa wà láago mẹ́sàn-án so keep an eye on that interview tí a fẹ́ ṣe fún àwọn méjèèjì if the network goes well especially pẹ̀lú Àdìgún torí pé òun ò sí ní location tí èmi wà location tó ń wà is outside the UK. Ìṣọ̀kan àti òmìnira ní kẹjẹ́ ká máa lépa tẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sí ipò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Mo kí wa pé happy Sunday and welcome to the transmission. Kò sí nǹkan méjì tá à ń ṣe ní orí ìkànnì yìí ju ìpolongo àti ìkéde Yorùbá Nation fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, àti tí ó fẹ́ àti tí ó fẹ́. Bóhùn yìí kẹ́ sọ pé ẹ fẹ́, bóhùn yìí kẹ́ sọ pé ẹ fẹ́, àmọ́ àwa ò ní jókòó ká lajú wa sílẹ̀ pẹ̀lú gbogbo knowledge àti information tá ti gain láti ọdún mẹ́rin tó yé wa pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó níṣẹ́ tó lè ṣe, àmọ́ Nàìjíríà tá wà nínú ẹ̀ ó ń impact the progress of the Yoruba people, and that means pé àwa kan ò ní gbà ká jókòó kí tàlùbọ̀ kókó wọnú ní tí ó jẹ́ kó jáde. A máa ní a ní 60 million Yoruba people ní Nigeria for argument's sake. But lára àwọn 60 million yẹn, gbogbo wọn kọ́ ló fẹ́ kí ìran Yorùbá dá dúró, torí pé wọn ò mọ ìdí pàtàkì tí ìran ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ dá dúró. Ìdí tá ṣe ń ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ awareness lóòrèkóòrè nígbàkígbà kò ń ṣe pé convenient, kò dẹ̀ ṣe pé ó rọrùn, torí bíyàn bá jókòó 2 hours especially tó wà comfortable, torí ó ní gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìlú tèmi ń gbé, tó bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ nílé iṣẹ́ wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ provide the kind of chair tó máa fi jókòó torí ẹ̀yin. So ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń gbọ́ wa náà láti jókòó 2 hours 3 hours láti fi gbọ́n tá à ń sọ, kódà ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní tá à ń sọ ti tó pé ká lọ jáde sí títì ká ṣe gbogbo ohun tó yẹ ká ṣe láti lè jẹ́ kí ìran yìí bọ́ nínú ibi tó kó sí tó ń pè ní Nàìjíríà. Àmọ́ gbogbo wa mọ̀ dájú pé kò sí nǹkan kan tó máa come easy, torí pé nígbà tó ń manufacture Nàìjíríà, àwọn tó manufacture wọ́n ṣe pé kó wà difficult láti lè break, but yàtọ̀ sí pé wọ́n ṣe pé kó wà difficult, wọ́n tún wá ṣe pé kó wà ungovernable àti unsuitable àti gbogbo tí a mọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àǹfààní fún aráàlú. Ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà tá à ń polongo pé kò ṣiṣẹ́ fáráàlú, kò ń ṣe Yorùbá nìkan ni kò ṣiṣẹ́ fún, kò ṣiṣẹ́ fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù náà. Ó wá kù sí ẹ̀yà kọ̀ọ̀kan lọ́wọ́ láti gbé ìgbésẹ̀ láti lè ṣe kó rọrùn, láti lè gbé ìgbésẹ̀ pé n tí a fi ń sọ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó wà nínú ewu, ò ní pé kí gbogbo wa tá jẹ́ 60 million yẹn ká dìde together. But níbi tí message wa tí kò circulate, tí kò dé ibi tó yẹ kó dé dáadáa, àwọn ò láǹfààní pé kí rédíò kan dún lórí FM nínú Nàìjíríà, torí pé àwọn ìjọba Nàìjíríà ò fàyè gbà. Àwọn ò láǹfààní láti lè kọ́ pagìrì jáde. Lóòótọ́ ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni, àmọ́ gbogbo wa náà la rí ewu tó ń bẹ níbẹ̀. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí Yorùbá nation, àwọn olóṣèlú ti kó àwọn èèyàn síta láti bí ọdún 4 sẹ́yìn láti intimidate wọn. Mo ń try láti wá ìtàn pè ní intimidation ní Yorùbá, láti dákun pé tó bá mọ̀ pé ẹ̀yin náà ń ṣe Yorùbá nation, àwọn kan máa búlì yín. Àwọn tó ń búlì wa náà, àwọn tó ń takò tó lóṣèlú ń lò yẹn, ọmọ Yorùbá ni wọ́n. Àmọ́ kí ló lè fà á kí ọmọ Yorùbá kan máa takò ọmọ Yorùbá kejì látara pé à ń béèrè fún ẹ̀tọ́, a dẹ̀ ń béèrè fún ìrọ̀rùn fún èmi àti àwọn tó ń takò wáyé. A wá rí i pé àwọn olóṣèlú instigate pé ìjọ tí Yorùbá bá láǹfààní àti dá dúró, ètò tí kò tò nínú Nàìjíríà á ní ètò tó pọ̀, nítorí pé a máa kọ́kọ́ make sure pé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ìlú tó ń jẹ́ Yorùbá nation country or Odùduwà republic or Yorùbá kingdom, èyí tó bá wù wá la lè pè, a ní choice. À ń pè ní Yorùbá nation nísìn, a lè decide pé gbogbo wa pé Yorùbá republic la fi pè or Yorùbá kingdom, but the fact ta kọ́kọ́ láti mọ̀ ni pé ká gbéra kúrò nínú that entrapped location, ká padà sí inú territory tiwa nìkan, ká wá govern territory yẹn kó lè ṣiṣẹ́ fún èmi àti wọ. So àwọn tó ń takò yẹn kò ń ṣe pé ó wù wọ́n lọ́kàn láti takò. A mọ̀ pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan ó attach mọ́. In tó dé attach mọ́ jù ni pé the monetary aspect tán fáwọn kan láti go against pé kí ìran Èkó dá dúró. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fi àwọn aráàlú sílẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn tó jẹ́ gbòógì nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, àwọn tí a mọ̀ pé wọ́n lé fọ̀n, wọ́n lé kaná, àwọn tá a mọ̀ pé tó bá wa gbé ọ̀rọ̀ sọ Yorùbá nation yìí jáde, á lọ síbi tó yẹ kó lọ. Àwọn la máa kọ́kọ́ pè ní àwọn ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ó máa ń yà mí lẹ́nu pé nígbà tá ní Yorùbá ni wá, tí a dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ṣe sọ fún wa nínú ìtàn, Yorùbá ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ monarchy system of bá ṣe operate kó tó di pé àwọn òyìnbó dé. Gbogbo abà kọ̀ọ̀kan ló ní baálẹ̀. Láti baálẹ̀ a ní oríṣiríṣi àwọn ọba títí dá àwọn ọba ńláńlá. Bọ̀ kí ni àwọn ọba yẹn ń rí tí wọ́n fi ń tako Yorùbá kó dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè, as against pé ká ṣèjọ wà nínú Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù? Ìyẹn ni mo fẹ́ ká máa rò ní gbogbo ìgbà, torí pé ìyẹn wà ó heavy gan, pé àwọn tí a pè ní àwọn ọba wa tí ó yẹ kó darapọ̀ mọ́, kódà àwọn ọba gan ló yẹ kó jẹ́, kódà ó yẹ ká máa ṣe broadcast nínú palace àwọn ọba kọ̀ọ̀kan pa fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation, kó lè jẹ́ ká àgbáyé mọ̀ pé lóòótọ́ la fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation. Ó jẹ́ kí ọba kọ̀ọ̀kan fi àyè sílẹ̀ fún wa sínú palace, pé ká mú mídíà kọ̀ọ̀kan wá, kó wá máa polongo, ká dẹ̀ máa interview wọn lóòrèkóòrè, kí gbogbo àgbáyé lè gbọ́ látẹnu wọn pé àwọn ọba wa náà fẹ́ Yorùbá nation. A wá rí i pé ṣe làwọn ọba gangan tó jẹ́ kó sọ̀rọ̀ káwa aráàlú tẹ̀lé wọn, ṣe ni wọ́n dákẹ́. Ìyẹn wá ń jẹ́ bí kàyéfì fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwa kọ̀ọ̀kan báyìí pé kí ló lè fà á, kí ló lè dé, kí ló lè ṣẹlẹ̀ tí ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ń sá fún kí ìran ẹ̀ kó dá dúró. kí ló lè mú kí ọba fìsẹ́yìn nígbà tí àwọn ọmọ kátẹ sọ pé kò ń ṣe gbogbo Yorùbá ló fẹ́ lóòótọ́, àwọn kan sì fẹ́ pé ká wà ní Nàìjíríà, but the fact that pé àwọn bá mọ important pé kí Yorùbá dá wà, ṣe mọ̀ pé tó bá yẹ pé àdáwà rí àwa ní a fẹ́ dá wà, á dàbí bàtà pé a fẹ́ force ara wa lọ ṣe ń tá àṣírí. A gbọ́, a kà, ẹ̀rí wà pé Yorùbá ti wà ní ibì kan rí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìjọba lágbára àgbáyé. Àmọ́ lẹ́ni nísìn ẹ̀yà Yorùbá ọ̀hún ó wá ń struggle láti jẹ́ kí ó wà recognized in the midst of countries ní àgbáyé. So question yẹn ó need a lot of pé ká dive into it, ká analyze ẹ̀, ká research ẹ̀, pé kí ló lè fà tí ọba ń tako Yorùbá pé kó dá dúró nígbà tá a mọ̀ pé ẹ̀yà kan tó wà tó dá dúró náà ní wá. Àwọn òyìnbó tí a mọ̀ sí Britain, àwọn ni wọ́n dáwọ́rú, àwọn ni wọ́n change the strategic position Yorùbá lénìí. Bí a fẹ́ bí a kọ̀, Elédùmarè ò ní dáríjì Britain àfi tí Yorùbá bá dá dúró. Kò sí ọ̀nà kan tó lè ṣe, kò sí ìwà tó lè wù tí Yorùbá ò bá dá dúró, ìṣẹ̀dá wa ò ní dáríjì wọn. Kò sí gbogbo tó lè gbé láti fẹ́ fi jẹ́ the shining of the global world, kò ní rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Nítorí pé àwọn gbé ẹ̀yà tí kò ń ṣe ẹ̀yà tiwa, wọ́n gbé wọn lé wa lórí. Wọ́n wá ń jẹ́ kí àwọn ẹ̀yà yẹn cooperate ilẹ̀ wa on our behalf. Ìyẹn wá wò pé ó jẹ́ káwọn ọba aládé, àwọn ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, ó jẹ́ káwọn wá tako in tí àwọn British ṣe. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ gbà, at least èmi mọ̀ bí abẹ́ méjì, if I'm right, ni Ọọ̀ni ti wá sí UK rí. Mo wá mọ̀ bóyá wọ́n láǹfààní àti rí Queen nígbà tó wá yẹn. I don't know because I can't remember if bóyá wọ́n rí àbí wọ́n rí. But ẹ jẹ́ ká béèrè lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa Ọ̀jájá Kábíyèsí pé kí ló lè fà á tí ìran tí wọ́n ń ṣe agbátọ ẹ̀ as one of the monarch in Yorùbá land àtàwọn tó kù, kí ló lè fà á táwọn jẹ́ bí obstacle fún pé kí ìran yìí kó dá dúró? Ṣé Elédùmarè ń sọ fún wọn pé àsìkò ìtí tó ni wọ́n ṣe fẹ́ bá wa gbé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation as the because Ọọ̀ni wà lára àwọn ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó jẹ́ kó gbé ohùn Yorùbá nation sókè, káwa kọ̀ tẹ̀lé wọn lẹ́yìn. Eléyìí tí bàbá Akíntóyè ń ṣe, iṣẹ́ Ọọ̀ni ni, iṣẹ́ Kábíyèsí ni bàbá Akíntóyè ń ṣe yìí. So ó ń fèmí ní concern tí bá sùn, tí bá ń lọ sùn pé kí ló lè fà tí Kábíyèsí wà tí wọ́n fẹ́ wà in alliance pẹ̀lú àwa? Kí ló dé tí Kábíyèsí fẹ́ wà in alliance against wa? Because ọ̀rọ̀ Kábíyèsí ń ṣe lábẹ́lẹ̀ ó kọjá ní tí a máa sọ pé Ọọ̀ni ń bá wa ṣe Yorùbá nation lábẹ́lẹ̀ as a strong ọba nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ṣé ẹ̀rù ń bá Ọọ̀ni ni? Àbí nǹkan míì wà tí kò hàn sáwa gẹ́gẹ́ bí from the spiritual realm? I am not talking about the face. You okay? What do you want? You're hungry? Is there something? Ǹjẹ́ kankan wà tí Ọọ̀ni mọ̀ because wọn ní lọ sínú spiritual journey tó bá ń ṣe àwọn ọlọ́jọ́ festival ṣe mọ̀ pọ̀ ní máa lọ ìrìn àjò tó dẹ̀ rìn yẹn àwọn nìkan ló mọ nǹkan bá pàdé lọ́hùn. Ìtí mo wá fi understand ni pé ṣé message tí wọ́n fún ọ ni pé Yorùbá ò tí ripe enough láti dá dúró. Ṣé mọ̀ pé tó bá sọ fún wa nísìn pé ẹ̀yin ọmọ tẹ́ ń pariwo Yorùbá nation yìí kò tí ì tó àsìkò, àmọ́ ẹ̀rí tí mo mú wá leléyìí o látọ̀dọ̀ àwọn bàbá ńlá wa. Ṣé mọ̀ pé a lè máa wo pé evidence wà from the spiritual realm, because gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láyé on the spiritual level ni o, is not the physical tá a kàn ríra wa báyìí. Pé Yorùbá wà níbi tó wà lénìí ó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú spiritual part of it. But àwọn tí wọn kì í ṣe Ọ̀ọ̀ni, àwọn tí wọn ò lè fẹ́ put one together, but àwọn náà ní the spiritual side tó fi ń bá Ọlọ́run tí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀, be it Christian or Muslim. Àwọn wa náà wọ́n rí messages from the spiritual level or the spiritual realm. Let me use the spiritual realm. Ìyẹn wà much more, understandable. Àwọn sọ fún wa pé àwọn rí nǹkankan from the spiritual realm tí physical eyes ò lè rí, because physical eyes ó yàtọ̀ sí spiritual eyes. Púpọ̀ nu wa báyìí kọ̀ lájú ni, a rí nǹkankan. And I'm not joking. A kọ̀ lájú báyìí ni, a rí nothing. Àwọn kan wọ́n ní ojú, àmọ́ ojú yẹn ó ju ojú lọ. So in tí mo fẹ́ try láti establish òun ni pé in tó lè mú àwọn Christian pé wọ́n rí àsíá pé wọ́n rí ìpayà pé Nàìjíríà yìí nǹkankan, kátẹ agree pé Elédùmarè establish ẹ̀, kátẹ agree bẹ́ẹ̀ pé kò ń ṣe lugard, kátẹ agree, because a lot of people still ask that báwo ló ṣe conquer wa, àwa ta ní agbára, our very powerful as ẹ̀yà, wọ́n dẹ̀ padà conquer wa, ká kọ́ accept pé ohun Elédùmarè ni, because if not kò tẹ̀ jẹ́ ká wà ní stage pé à ń question báwo ló ṣe conquer wa, because bó ṣe conquer wa yẹn is still baffling a lot of people. Pé báwo ni òyìnbó kan ṣe conquer wa. Ìyẹn mo ṣe ní kákọ̀ agree, kákọ̀ accept, kákọ̀ gbà pé ohun Elédùmarè ni. Now ṣé nígbà tó conquer wa yẹn tó wá ń lọ títí ẹ jẹ́ ká yọ gbogbo amalgamation ti expire, because gbogbo yẹn formalities ni, gbogbo yẹn a kàn ń lò as the physical part, but on the spiritual side ṣé Elédùmarè tuntun wá yí òun padà pé ó dá òun kó gbogbo yín papọ̀ ni, with the hope pé bóyá ìfẹ́ á wà, ẹ lè bára yín ṣe, ìyẹn gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀yà tí wọ́n pè ní Nàìjíríà. Àmọ́ ní sáà yìí, ní wákàtí òun ò rò pé ó jẹ́ kẹjọ wà together mọ́. Now àwọn tí àwa expect tó jẹ́ kó deliver message yẹn fáwa, wọ́n fún wa ní message yẹn. Ìyẹn àwọn spiritual fathers wa tá mọ̀ sí àwọn kábíyèsí. Ṣé mọ̀ pé àwọn kábíyèsí gangan ló yẹ kó máa fún wa ní message pé ìran Yorùbá máa bọ́. Ṣé mọ̀ pé àìtí rí clarity látọba kankan yàtọ̀ sí bóyá méjì mẹ́ta, but àwọn tá expect Àwùjalẹ̀, Aláké, Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀, àwọn tó jẹ́ pé nínú palace wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ differ, wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ consult, ẹ ti understand, as because Yorùbá làwa, consultation wà bá ṣe ń communicate pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀yà tó jẹ́ àwọn leaders wa, I'm not talking about leaders in politics, from the spiritual level. Àwọn ló yẹ kó máa fáwa ní sermon pé nígbà tí wọ́n dí Ifá o, ọ̀ nígbà tí Ọ̀ọ̀ni rìnrìn àjò nǹkan báyìí ni Ọ̀ọ̀ni mú padà wá o, kó wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí break it down fáwa tí wọ́n pè ní tọ́jọba lé lórí. Ṣé wàá mọ̀ pé gbogbo wọn kò dákẹ́, wọ́ọ̀ fi síbí, wọ́ọ̀ fi sọ́hùn, àní wọ́ọ̀ dẹ̀sùn kankan. Ó wá jẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tí ó ń mo mọ̀ kó dà pé bàbá wa fi bá wa bí wọ́n fi bá wa dá sí ẹ bá mute background ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá ti wọlé.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ sá o, ẹ pẹ́ tó.
Ètò nìyẹn.
Àwọn ìbéèrè yín wọ̀nyẹn òun ni mo fẹ́ yànnàná. Ṣé ń gbọ́ mi sà?
À ń gbọ́ yín kétékété.
Ẹ ṣé gan. Now, mo máa fún yín láwọn scenario kan. Máa fún yín láwọn scenario kan, máa wá explain. Now, spiritual ló ń control physical. Anything that happen physically, it has already happened or represented in the spiritual. Physical ma decode any our materialize. Now, ní 2014, amalgamation expire. Now, òmìnira wa ti pé. Láti gba òmìnira láti ọjọ́ yẹn lọ. Now, 3 years after, in 2017, 3 years after, ní spiritual ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá gbé jáde láti rán wa létí in the astronomy wa show ẹ̀ wípé ó tó kẹgbà òmìnira, because see, it has happened right in the spirit, but physically human being may forget. The generation that supposed láti gba òmìnira may not even know history. Now, God has programmed it to remind the generation why the astronomy in the heavenly places, in the spiritual, bring it out, so that people that have knowledge can decode and now start working on it. So on the issue wípé bóyá ó ti tó ká gbòmìnira or kò tó ká gbòmìnira is clearly spelled out. Bẹ́ẹ̀ dífàsì, bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe anything, bẹ́ẹ̀ ríran anything Yorùbá ti tó láti gba òmìnira. Everybody knows that. Because the heavens has declared it, and even physically has shown it. Gbogbo àwọn bayan pátá ní Ifá ti bá sọ̀rọ̀, and àwọn rúmọlẹ̀ sọ fún wọn wípé ó ti tó ká gbòmìnira. Now, wọ́n ní ohun tó wà ní ẹ̀yìn ọ̀fà ojú òjé lọ. Òun ni tó ń bá àwọn bàbá àti àwọn ọba wọ̀nyí lẹ́rù wípé nínú condition tí wọ́n wà yìí, báwo làwọn ṣe fẹ́ gba òmìnira. Now, where their mind is blocked is because they don't think a way out. They are consuming fear. So wọ́n wá yọ̀ǹda gbogbo ẹ̀ padà sí ọwọ́ àwọn alálẹ̀ wípé ìwà alálẹ̀ o, ẹ̀yin alálẹ̀ yín lẹ sọ ọ̀nà tẹ́ bá máa gbà ní kẹ́ ṣe. God doesn't work like that. God doesn't work. He will do his part, and he will allow you to do your part. But when he has done his part, he's backing you. You will not fail. But when you refuse to do your part, it will be there. It will be there till the day you wake up. Ọ̀ọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ mọ̀ wípé àkókò tó fún òmìnira ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ọ̀ọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ want òmìnira ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, but they are in what do we say? They are in hold with federal government of Nigeria. You will not expect Ọ̀ọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ to come out openly, publicly, and say that, just like the politicians. But what is playing out again is that the politicians who is interested in looting Nigeria wọ́n ti wọ àárín àwọn lọ́balọ́ba wọ̀nyí, àwọn lọ́balọ́ba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, they are not in one accord. Àwọn kan gbọ́ràn sọ́ọ̀ ní lẹ́nu, àwọn kan gbọ́ràn sọ́ọ̀ ní lẹ́nu. Àwọn tó tún jẹ́ àgbààgbà míì wò pé ọmọdé ni ẹni tó wà nípò àgbà Ọọ̀ni, àwọn ò lè máa lọ wárí fún. It's not because wípé ó ṣẹ̀ wọ́n láìkẹ́. Because àwọn ti dàgbà. So the pride. So tábà wo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, àwọn kan tún wà tó jẹ́ wípé irú Rashidi Wo yẹn sìn politician ni. Gbogbo kátìkàtì tó ń sọ in the name of his Muslim and kìíní wọ̀nyẹn, àwáwí ni gbogbo yẹn, ó fi ń gbowó lọ́wọ́ àwọn Ìlọrin Islamic emir kìíní ni wọ́n sponsor ẹ̀, owó lòun bá dì. So a ní àwọn ọba míì bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tó wà ní orí ìtẹ́ àwọn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá bẹ́ẹ̀. And one thing about àwọn ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, people don't understand wípé Ọọ̀ni doesn't have that authority over the whole land of ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Tàbí Aláàfin of Ọ̀yọ́ does not have that authority over the whole land of ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Everything has autonomy over his own land. Yorùbá practice democracy right from far years ago. Ọba tó jọba ni ó jọba, òun ló ní control lórí territory ẹ̀. But tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n ní that association that bring all of them together and constitute them under one Ilé Ifẹ̀, wípé ibẹ̀ ni gbogbo àti ṣẹ̀ wá. And they agree on decisions and Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ approve it, and they will go to their different domain and greenfield it. But nísìnyí politics ti ń wọ́n ti ń gé jurisdiction Ọọ̀ni kù sí àwọn area ọba kan. Àwọn ọba míì tún ti ń control àwọn ìletò ọba míì lábẹ́ wọn. Bí irú Alákẹ́sìn, òun control àwọn ọba kan ní Yewa, òun control àwọn ọba kan ní ìlú Àwórì Àǹkó. Tó bá dákọ̀ ní of Ifẹ̀ bí ẹni ń da omi sẹ́yìn etí ẹ̀ ni. Irú bàbá, for example, you'll be surprised wípé ọba tó wà ní Rẹ́mọ, that is Akarigbo Rẹ́mọ, that's supposed to be in one accord with Ọba Ìjẹ̀bú, that is Awùjalẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú. It's not so. They are in different caucus because of rivalry of seniority. Akarigbo ní òun ò lè lọ submit sábẹ́ Awùjalẹ̀. So òun tún wá ní caucus àwọn ìletò ọba míì on their own. Gbogbo wọn dá gúrùpù lọ́balọ́ba sílẹ̀ tó yẹ kí gbogbo wọn wà ní abẹ́ ìṣọ̀kan lábẹ́ Ọọ̀ni. And the problem started from Ọ̀yọ́ when Aláàfin Ọ̀yọ́ separate himself too. Wípé òun ò lè máa lọ subject sábẹ́ Ọọ̀ni àfi táwọn méjèèjì bá kọ̀ lè pera wọn. So ibi táwọn politics ti wà àárín lọ́balọ́ba wà nìyẹn. It is our responsibility to unify that, to break all those political and unify them. Tó bá pè ìpàdé lọ́balọ́ba nísìnyí àwọn ọba kan ò ní lọ, tó bá jẹ́ Ọọ̀ni ló pè ìpàdé yẹn. Tí Awùjalẹ̀ bá pè ìpàdé lọ́balọ́ba kò ṣe gbogbo ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló máa lọ. Àwọn caucus tiẹ̀ ló máa wà. So that is how they have started splitting, but Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ still has the largest territory control, like Warri o, Ìbíní o, Oǹdó, gbogbo Oǹdó, àtàwọn Ọ̀ṣun, gbogbo àwọn tóbìnrin bá pè Èkìtì ó, gbogbo wọn máa lọ, máa dá Ọọ̀ni lóhùn. But when you are talking about Ọ̀yọ́ state, Ògùn state, Èkó, Lagos and Co, wọ́n ti pínra wọn sí ẹlẹ́yẹ, wọ́n ṣe tiwọn. So these are the reality and truths of what is on ground. It is our responsibility to unite them. To unite them. And I know that Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ is a very intelligent person. And he kò ní disrespect àwọn ọba aládé wọ̀nyí. Now, majority of àwọn ọba wọ̀nyí ni wọ́n fẹ́ Yorùbá nation. Now, ohun tí olórí gúrùpù wọn yẹn bá sọ fún wọn náà máa follow. For example, àwọn tó jẹ́ Èkó àti Ògùn state like that. Nígbà tí Tinubu sọ bó ti ṣe meeting pẹ̀lú gbogbo wọn pé kàn ṣèpá Yorùbá nation ti sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ pé kàn support òun kò di president tó bá di president òun á ṣèlú dáadáa fún wọn. Gbogbo àwọn ọba yẹn wọ́n gbọ́ tó lọ̀gá wọn sọ because Tinubu ti rí ọ̀gá wọn. Then that's why most of them keep quiet about Yoruba nation. They supported Tinubu. Now they are all regretting àfàwọn olórí wọn yẹn tó ti gba nǹkan táwọn fẹ́ gbà tiwọn. That's why I say politics have entered into it. Some of those kings, the most of them are regretting now. Wọ́n ní pé tó bá jẹ́ Yorùbá nation yìí ní ká gba ilẹ̀ wa. But if you leave this alone, if you don't take action, if you don't try to regulate or organize them, that fi wọ́n lẹ̀ sọ́dọ̀ ara wọn tá kì í ṣàwọn ló máa gbé ìpàdé fún wa, àwa ló yẹ ká gbé ìpàdé fún wọn. Like I said, delegate sí wọn ni ọ̀hún tó bá jẹ́ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ fẹ́ wá kán wá síbẹ̀ tó wọn bá lè wá síbẹ̀ tó bá jẹ́ nínú Nàìjíríà náà wá ló yẹ ká gbé ìpàdé fún wọn ká dẹ̀ send delegate to unite them. Kì í ṣe pé olóṣèlú ló máa control wọn to use them against us. So those are the realities on ground. So now àwọn báyìí majority of them want Yoruba nation except few of them that are conjeni the ìbàjẹ́ Nigeria or táwọn olóṣèlú sponsor, except few of them like that. Now it is not from their mouth to publicly say it. Under constitution Nigeria tó gbé wọn sí ipò yẹn wọn ní láti come out publicly to say it. Now what we need to do is, after working with them, getting to know those one among them that want Yoruba nation, we work with those ones. The rest that doesn't want, some might be changing their mind alongside. Some may not change their mind till we achieve what we want to achieve. Then when we achieve what we want to achieve, only kìíní kan ló máa tọ́ka sí ibi tí kìíní kan máa já sí. So irú àwọn yẹn, wọ́n á fi pò wọ́n lẹ̀ wọ́n á já pa ni. So these are the things. And another scenario is that kò mean wípé nítorí àsìkò ti tó wípé automatically àádẹ́wà gbà tá a bá gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tó yẹ ká ṣe ànígbà á wà bẹ́ẹ̀ àsìkò dẹ̀ ti tó ti kọjá. When the children of Israel were in captivity in Babylon ní Iraq, now àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè míì Russia and Iran, àwọn Mede and Persia, àwọn Iran ní Persia, àwọn Russia ní Mede, they call it Medo-Persia Empire. Àwọn yẹn ló gbógun ti Babylon, Iraq. Wọ́n wá take over world power from Babylon, which is Iraq. Now, àwọn ọmọ Israeli wọ́n wà ní Babylon that time as a slave, just like the way we are in different countries, working in developing other countries. Daniel was in Babylon. He's a king's executive. He's one of the king's executives there. Now, nígbà táwọn Medo-Persia want to conquer Babylon, so àwọn ẹ̀ tún wá transfer Daniel lọ sí Shushan. Shushan is in Iran or something. So one control region. And now, Bible sọ wípé Daniel ó study the book of Jeremiah. When you read Daniel chapter 9, he was curious because ẹrú ni wọ́n ní sìn wọ́n ti tún wá di ìwọ̀fà. Ìwọ̀fà mean wípé àwọn tó kó wọn lẹ́rú wọ́n ti tún wá di ẹrú. So àwọn their ẹrú raised to power 2. Because àwọn tó kó onígbà tó wà ní Babylon ẹrú ni wọ́n. Now àwọn tó kó wọn lẹ́rú yẹn wọ́n ti tún kó àwọn yẹn náà lẹ́rú, àwọn ti wá di ìwọ̀fà. So àwọn máa tún ṣe ẹrú fún ẹrú. That's the situation that time. So he was curious about the situation and about the state. Bible sọ pé ó study, he research the book of Jeremiah, because Jeremiah ni prophet. The prophet was the word professor was taken from prophet. So tabani prophet is ṣe àwọn tó kọ̀ máa ń gbọ́nra tán ní mo ríran sí mo rí. We are talking about knowledgeable people of those times. Àwọn amòye, àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ayé ìgbà yẹn ló ń pè ní prophet. And all education, all knowledge is encapsulated in one particular truth that time. That's why I read a prophet òun ló lè ṣiṣẹ́ medical, a prophet òun náà ló lè ṣiṣẹ́ education to educate, a prophet òun náà ló lè ṣiṣẹ́ gbogbo everything, direction and co. So one is a prophet, he can give direction, he can perform miracle medically, he can do only wusun, and because all knowledge that was encapsulated into one single truth. So I want to open prophet, they are knowledgeable people. So kì í ṣe àwọn nǹkan tá à ń rí nísìn tó tẹ táwọn ẹ̀kọ́ máa lọ sẹ́jú máa ríran. That's not a prophet. You are a seer. A prophet is knowledgeable people, and they will postulate or give prophecy based on the adequate knowledge that they have, that now give them postulation of the next thing that could happen. That's the reason when they postulate with all those facts, what they say will happen will actually happen, except you take precaution. So that's the prophet. Now, òun wá study book of Jeremiah. Nítorí Jeremiah ni ó jẹ́ prophet nígbà tí wọ́n wá ní Babylon wá ń kó wọn lẹ́rú. And Jeremiah wá sọ nínú ìwé yẹn wípé ẹrú tó ń kó wọn lọ yẹn o, according to the program of God, òun ti rí nínú constellation, ó ti rí code yẹn, ó ní they will be slaves there for 70 years. So Daniel wá decode nígbà yẹn wípé they supposed to be slaves in Babylon for 70 years. Or 70 years yẹn ti pé ó ti kọjá. So God has been waiting for them to rise up and activate immediately after that 70 years. But wọn ò mọ kankan, wọn ò gbé ìgbésẹ̀, àwọn ṣayé wọn lọ ní Babylon. Many of them have become Babylonian. Àwọn Iran lẹ́nìí, there is a tribe in Iran tó ń pè ní Sumerians. Àwọn Sumerians yẹn, àwọn Jew tó ń kó lọ sẹ́rú ní Iran ní Babylon, àwọn ló ń pè ní Sumerians yẹn tí wọn ò padà mọ́ tó ti di ará Iraq. Àwọn ló ń pè ní Sumerians. So àwọn tí ṣayé wọn lọ, wọ́n ti fẹ́ wọn lọ, wọ́n ti dàpọ̀, wọ́n ti gbàgbé ilẹ̀ wọn Jerusalem. So wọ́n ti dàpọ̀ lọ́rùn. So Daniel ni ó research ló wá understand pé àwọn òtún lè aláti ẹrú àwọn tuntun di ìwòfà. Something is wrong. Ṣé bí ìran ṣe máa parẹ́ nìyẹn ni? He research, he knew that he's supposed to be there for 70 years. Then he began to fast and pray. That was when God sent a man to him. Ẹ bá lọ ka Daniel chapter 9. Ó ní a man. Nígbà tó rí man yẹn tán ló wá ti kó pé ìtìjẹ Gabriel. So God will not come to you with one strange something. Gbogbo mo sọ nígbà kan mo ní gbogbo àwa táwa láyé yìí. We are not only here. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ló ń rí tó rò pé èèyàn ni wọ́n, they are not ordinary people. We are all here messengers, àwọn irú wọn lè rìn pẹ̀lú wa. Wọ́n rìn káàkiri, they are here with an assignment. But òun ó rí níbẹ̀ pé God send him a man. But at the end, ó dìgbò pé the man is not an ordinary human being. Maybe the man exposed himself to him. Wípé this is who I am. So he was able to write it down. Wípé the man is Angel Gabriel. So the man is the one who sat him down and gave him all the plans. He wrote down all the plans, wrote down the year, and calculate the year for him in the book of Daniel chapter 9. Títí di ìgbà tí olùgbàlà wọn máa fi wà around, which is the time of Jesus Christ. Ó calculate ẹ̀, ó dẹ̀ sọ pé the olùgbàlà will be killed. Ó kọ síbẹ̀. So Daniel was confused pé kí ló tún máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀, àwọn tún máa ń lọ sánọdá ẹrú míì. Kó tó di pé Ọlọ́run máa bójú àánú wò wọ́n, they will now be restored. That's how they were restored back now over many years. So the plan has always been on ground to know the future. When you research, when you desire freedom and want it, but kì í ṣe wípé títà yẹn gbọ́gbọ́ bá wá ti tó wípé automatically àkọsílẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá dìde sí ẹ máa want to execute immediately, we execute it. It doesn't matter any foolish man who is saying, they say now, they say now, I think that we don't know anything. You cannot see beyond the door of your house. You're talking with somebody far advanced. So I don't look at that. At the end of everything, you see all these stupid people talking all this nonsense, they will come back and I'll be appreciating it. So why should I base my life on their judgment? So that is the way we should think and go. Chief Igbo took the letter to Great Britain office. And when they contact the letter is useless. Letter, do you know the content of the letter? So you don't need to respond. You don't need to think I want to the effect of the letter is working now. Badenoch is the head. Badenoch has been struggling for that post for long by saying. Now you don't know what is playing out. Badenoch is there. Badenoch is entitled to be prime minister once this one is gone. Just like Esther, during the time that they were in slavery, the Esther was able to talk to the husband, who is the king, to let his people be free. And God said that his uncle told him that you don't know that you are here for such a time as this. If you didn't help us, God will send a help from another race for us. God has put you in this position for such a time like this. And Esther go inside at the time that he's supposed not to see the king, her husband. He risked his life and told him that he should free his people. And the king, Artaxerxes the second, ordered the independence of the Jewish people. And that's how they returned back. So what Daniel has seen and he wrote down, and Daniel began to tell his people, became prominent among the people, and it was activated at the time of Esther, and they went back. We will not go so back to my awareness and campaign. I think what you da. Go so back no. Could there see any Yòrùbá politician come to my name got you da lanche? Pé à ṣe awareness àwọn ò lè sọ̀rọ̀ àwa náà látó láti máa sọ̀rọ̀ bá ṣe ń pariwo yẹn is assisting them in one way or the other, is assisting them in every angle, even politically within Nigeria is assisting them because wọ́n mọ̀ wípé àwọn èèyàn wa fẹ́ lọ and we will give them support. So one way, hey, Kamato. So unlike what is happening to our people in the East, Nigeria take back completely segment. But we are not going to relent. What is expedient for us to do? We should keep doing it and not look right or center or confused by àwọn bákan sọ̀rọ̀ or àwọn bákan sọ̀rọ̀, àwọn politician kan sọ̀rọ̀, àwọn politician kan sọ̀rọ̀, àwọn pastor kan sọ̀rọ̀, or àwọn pastor ńláńlá. Who are they? Why are you basing your life on them? They struggle their life to be who they are. When they become who they are, they struggle, commit themselves into different engagements to make money, to be popular. So now things like this will be more because it gets we will not want to talk. But our Christian pastor oríṣiríṣi like me, I'm a bishop, gbogbo wa á sọ̀rọ̀. So why should you belittle us? Why should you look down on my church? Is not even from Nigeria. My church is registered in the US. So why should you belittle àwọn tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn pastor kékèké? Who tell you pé pastor kan kéré, pastor kan tóbi? Why are you looking at until Adébóyè talk, until Kúmúyì talk, until Kìnní kan talk? Nígbà táwọn yẹn máa sọ̀rọ̀, Ọlọ́run ló ìmí inú Ọlọ́run ló máa lù ní pàṣọ fúnra rẹ̀ tó máa sọ̀rọ̀. Ìmí ìdẹ̀rẹ̀ Ọlọ́run lè ti fi mí gan sílẹ̀ kọ́lọ́run kò máa wò ó kó jẹ́ pé ordinary motivational speaker ló jẹ́. Tèrò dẹ̀ ń wọ́ lọ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì táwọn èèyàn mọ̀ tọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀mí Ọlọ́run ti filẹ̀ tipẹ́tipẹ́. But if they are public figures, you can't expect all those ones to be speaking. Jesus even told us wípé Ọlọ́run máa ń lo àwọn nǹkan táwọn èèyàn fojú sí láti gba agbára lọ́wọ́ àwọn alágbára ayé. Look at the scenario I gave when we are talking about Moses in the palace of Pharaoh. Ó nà ọ̀pá sílẹ̀. Ọ̀pádéjù. Àwọn ẹrẹ́rìn ṣé kò tó lè ṣe rè àwọn náà bá gbọ́ pàtì wọn sílẹ̀ ọ̀pá táwọn dẹ̀ gbélé ọ̀pá yẹn ni wọ́n nílò náà fi ń darí ìlú. Wọ́n bá nà sílẹ̀ ó bá di ejò. Ọ̀pá Mósè kó wá kó gbogbo ọ̀pá wọn mì. Ó yẹ kó ọ̀pá mi Mósè bá nà ó gbọ́ pàtì ẹ̀. Ọ̀pá wọn ti lọ ó ti gba gbogbo agbára Egypt kúrò lọ́wọ́ wọn. Simple thing ọ̀kújú wọn tó là ó ti lọ. So we don't need all these popular figures. We don't need all the popular jingle, Adéboyè Oyèdépò, Ọba Ọ̀ní of Ifẹ̀, Ọba Tinigba. Wọ́n máa sọ̀rọ̀ inú tí wọ́n lọ́rọ̀ máa wà. Àwọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ síta because of their commitment with Nigeria. Tá a bá ní designation wọn, tá a bá ní àwọn nǹkan mọ́, a máa pè wọ́n tọwọ́tọwọ́, a pè wọ́n pé a ní nǹkan báyìí, a ní ẹṣẹ fún wa láyè. Tó bá lóun fún wa láyè, a lọ bọ́ bá mi. Àánú tiẹ̀ ni a mọ̀ pé eléyìí kì í ṣara wa ó dẹ̀ máa sọ́pọ̀ yẹn nù. Ṣùgbọ́n irú àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ tó ń sọ́pọ̀ tó lè sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ wá ní tó bá jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní gbogbo ẹ wá àbí ibo ni káwa tí wàá gba yín kàdé sáì wọ́n á ṣe àdẹ́gbẹ́ lọ àní nìkan sọ̀rọ̀ sódà wọn ní fojú sí wọn lára. So those are the diplomatic way that I think things are and we should also relate with them. So thank you.
Wow.
We all need to keep equipping our security forces, equipping our doing work on our diplomatic move, on our parastatals and everything. And they need to start functioning now like little operations, little firm. Kì í ṣe pé tá a bá gbà lùtọ́ la fẹ́ wá dalẹ̀ àwọn kan tó mọ̀ kankan wá máa dùn ipò ló ń dùn ipò tó ò lè ṣẹ́ ní jàmbá rè. So ìyẹn ní failure àwọn kan tó lọ kóra wọn sí YSCM tó ń dàbẹ̀rù bọ́ Ọlọ́run ti ń tó bẹ̀. So it is well. Thank you.
Ketulo, just another probably 5 minutes or 10.
Yeah.
Kemi Badenoch. I'm going to read this quickly,
Yeah.
and it's again from another strong supporter like you of Yòrùbá Nation. You mentioned a bit of what he wrote here, but let me just read it briefly. Voice of Emancipation, Kemi Badenoch, a Yoruba lady may become the UK Prime Minister by Kayode Emola, 2nd of November 2024. She was the last person to enter the race to replace Rishi Sunak as the Conservative and the Unionist Party leader in the UK. But alas, she was the last person standing as she takes on a new role on His Majesty loyal opposition leader. Eyes will be on this young Yoruba girl who grew up on the street of Lagos and what she has to offer. A little over 100 years ago, it would have been unimaginable that a woman could even be allowed to vote, let alone lead any major political party in the United Kingdom. However, today, a woman of Yoruba heritage is not only leading one of the oldest political parties in the UK, but His Majesty's opposition party. While many Yoruba may be quick to congratulate Olukemi Badenoch, I believe it is time that those around her educate her on the dangers our Yoruba homeland is facing. Since colonization, Yoruba land has never remained the same in all aspects of developmental growth. We have fared even far worse since independence in 1960 and the return to democracy in 1999 than any living memory. The story of our people in Yoruba land is nothing to write home about, as Nigerian economy continues to suffer from hyperinflation. While Olukemi Badenoch's role as an opposition leader may not give her the needed power to do whatever she wants, it is time for her to recognize that she is now in a strong position of influence. That influence must be used to advance the cause of Britain and our native Yoruba homeland. As His Majesty loyal opposition leader, I will employ her to use her position to fight the injustice suffered by many ethnic minorities across Britain and around the world. She is in a strong position like the biblical Esther, who used her position in Babylon to influence the king of her people. Olukemi Badenoch must recognize that any river that forgets its source will eventually dry up one day. The Yoruba heritage has a way of replenishing knowledge to those that seek it diligently, and I will implore Olukemi Badenoch not to shy away from her roots. The focus now for the opposition leader is to rebuild the Conservative Party to wrestle power from the Labour Party in 2029 or earlier if luck were to run out of Sir Keir Starmer. Olukemi Badenoch has shown herself to be a talented young woman who is able to break any glass ceiling, and I pray God's grace that she will succeed in her new role and surpass expectation. She must never be complacent with this newfound love she has earned from the Conservative Party. She must repay the trust, that trust with loyalty and hard work, and the least we can do as fellow Yoruba people admirers is to pray for her to succeed. I know Olukemi is not vocal regarding the emancipation of our Yoruba people from the shackles of Nigeria. She must realize that just like the Mordecai told Esther to do something to raise an alarm about the essential threat of the Jews, Olukemi Badenoch must be ready to raise alarm about the essential threat to the Yoruba people facing Nigeria. Nigeria, since independence, has slowly degenerated into a failed state, and those who wield power in the country are not sincere with the people. Inasmuch as the country has failed to sit down on a round table since 1960 to discuss what future it wants, it is high time the country is divided in peace so that every ethnic nationality can go their way to develop. The last paragraph. Every Yoruba person at home and abroad must realize that there is only one task ahead of us, and it is the task of total liberation. Anything short of this is a complete waste of time and beating around the bush. We need to take the bull by the horn and free our Yoruba nation from the bondage it currently finds itself. And the last paragraph. I hope and pray Olukemi Badenoch is not just a leader in Yoruba land, but in Britain, where all our problems originated, will be champion of our people. I hope our time in Westminster will bring about positive change to the lives of those that she represents both in the UK and our native Yoruba land. Bishop, go ahead. Do we still have Bishop there? Okay. Bishop, you're muted. We can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Okay, now, we should not wait till politicians grab Badenoch and start influencing her, or when she now become real prime minister. That's when we now be pestering on her. And remember your people, remember, he has no business with you. Now is when our groups in UK need to start associating with her, giving her all the support to win the election. If the election comes, to vote for her, she will see us as our family. Then now is the time that all those desire that we want, petition to have a separate Yoruba state, need to be channel submitted to her, that she should study it. It's not that you go and meet her and be talking mouth to mouth. It should be documented and submitted to her. We will support you, Badenoch. We will be with you. This is Yoruba nation self-determination or sovereign state movement. We will support you at any level you want in UK. But this is our bid. When you get to that place, please help us present this. Help us throw it in the parliament. Send delegate to Nigeria. Tell Nigeria government to do meeting to let the countries have its own autonomy, because Nigeria is not working and you are putting a lot of Nigerian citizens in penury. So when we take action like that from now, not when she become PM, from now and relating, then another issue is we should not tell her to speak now. She should not be speaking now. It is when she gets to that post that she should speak. Because if she speaks now, that can be used by opposition party against her this thing. So all this should be considered. It's a plan thing. It's a plan thing. It's not one memo, one. Nǹkan tó máa ń ṣe mí about Yorùbá ni pé àkókò tó yẹ kó gbé ìgbésẹ̀ wọn ò kí ń ronú láti gbé ìgbésẹ̀. Tí nǹkan bá ti wá dórí, wọ́n á máa complain. What are you complaining to? Complain.
All right. It looks like we took too much of Bishop's time this morning. We come back to the discussion here. Muki gbogbo wa pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wa padà lórí the first Sunday. I believe Bishop is trying to come back. Let's go back to Bishop.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So when you complain, you compound problem. The real serious thing is to take action as at when due and know what action to take. Know what action to take. In the country, la fẹ́ gbà kì í ṣe organization. Kì organization that should be cordial and corporate organized plan to what we want. So UK bodies can handle that with bad enough. Why that will not disturb publicity or rally and co. And she should be muted about that. When she get to where she is going, she start acting on her behalf. So that is my view. A ní àwọn èèyàn ní government ní America now. Kò sẹ́ni tó bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀, kò sẹ́ni tó associate pẹ̀lú wọn. Tó bá máa associate pẹ̀lú wọn, wọ́n á kàn máa sọ̀rọ̀ sí wọn in distance. So that thing makes some of them to be angry. Did I know you people? Did I gain anything from you people? Did any one of you support me? Why are you now talking? You can't even plead. Why are you now talking? So they will push it, the quest for Yòrùbá nation. So it is the attitude that we are using to approaching our people in government. That is why we are where we are. We should be coordinated. We should be coordinated and properly structured in doing things. And as of now, we know what we need a strong diplomatic group. Come and your self-interest.
I think we have lost connection with Bishop again.
Hello.
Go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, they should remove self-interest, personal issue against personal group that the person belongs to that they don't like. What we want is what you should focus on and the personality they send you to. So these are the things we need to highlight and channel our addition to what
Thank you so much.
We want.
All right. Eshegoni. Bishop ni agbóhùn wọn. Àwa láǹfààní náà láti ṣí ojú òpó fún àwọn tó bá fẹ́ sọ sí ibi tí a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò náà. A ti ṣe wákàtí kan àti díẹ̀ lórí ètò tàárọ̀ yìí. Mo kí wa pé a kú ọ̀sẹ̀ tuntun tá a fẹ́ wọ̀, a dẹ̀ kú Sunday tó jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ nínú oṣù November. Bí Bishop ti ṣe ṣàlàyé fún wa lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, ó jẹ́ kó yé wa pé gbogbo àwọn ọba bẹ́ẹ̀ bá dẹ̀ pé okay, let's take a call. I will not allow you to abuse any of the kings on this platform. Ẹ̀yin náà lè set up platform tí yín kó bú ọba lórí ẹ̀, but lórí platform yìí à ní fún yín láyè láti bú ọba kankan. Ẹ ní right láti ní àwọn ìbéèrè tẹ́ fi bí wọ́n, but ẹ ní láǹfààní àti bú ọba kankan. Tẹ́ bá fi bú ọba, ẹ̀yin náà set up YouTube channel yín àti Facebook ẹ máa fi bú àwọn ọba. Ẹ bá gbóhùn sókè kẹ́ bá ṣe ní kíákíá.
Ẹ káàárọ̀.
À ń gbọ́ yín sá, ẹ káàárọ̀.
Yes, sir. Mo ṣe kò pẹ́ bí mo ṣe dé láti Nigeria just few days ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want to be very careful wípé àwọn èèyàn mọ̀ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nigeria. Mi ti expect ẹnìkan dárúkọ orúkọ yín gan.
Okay.
Ọjọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Just that man was just against you.
Kí ni àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe wà against wa tẹ́ bá lè ṣàlàyé fún wa, and you don't need to hide anything because it won't make any difference to me. But again, it's just money. Ẹ má ní kankan tẹ́ fi hide. Kí ló fi wà against wa? Because ìyẹn ló máa fún wa ní a bit of understanding.
They were talking about Nigeria, and I was like, so they were not asking of my own view. So mo jẹ́ kọ́ mọ̀ pé mi ò believe in one Nigeria, pé the best solution ni wípé ká dissolve Nigeria kó ní kálukú lọ ní ààyè wọn. So they were like, no.
ṣé ti Ìgbòho àti Koiki ni you know Koiki yẹn máa jókòó sí London a máa sọ bá ọmọ Yorùbá dẹ̀ ni máa nù and I was like kí ni nǹkan tí Mr. Koiki ń ṣe tí kò dáa bí ó pẹ́ jẹ́ ká gbòmìnira ìlú wa so nǹkan tó wọ́n dára sọ pé no we still have to give Tinubu time ó ṣẹ̀ débẹ̀ ni this and that tó ń ṣe dáadáa gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe ẹ̀ mọ̀ they are just like trying to be political correct.
Okay.
But what I just realized is that I didn't expect that, you know, like they will even talk about you, and I was so shocked that they make everything, you know, watching everything from Nigeria. So they only pay àwọn Nigeria wọn mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ gbogbo ipá tẹ̀ ń gbé àti Sunday Igboho and everybody around me. But just that some people there, I don't know, Mr. Koiki, like some, I won't say most. They are suffering. Ìyà ń jẹ wọ́n Nigeria go Mr. Koiki. Surviving mode ni wọ́n wà ebi ń pa wọ́n. Dog eat dog. Everyone is ready to, you know, to eat anybody, to steal from this, to scam, you know. No love, no sympathy, no emotion. It's just all about money, surviving mode, you know. And everything is so expensive, very, very expensive. If I don't know tani, kini yẹn affect you. Kò ṣe kókó affect àwọn Igbo, but àwọn Yorùbá ló affect you. Ó affect àwọn Yorùbá tó àwọn Fúlàní gan lọ, àwọn Hausa gan lọ. Àwọn Fúlàní and Igbo, because àwọn Igbo, you know, what I see in them is that they are business orientated. So with the economic situation in Nigeria, they focus more on their business. As in more realizing, no matter how situation in Nigeria about àwọn Igbo yẹn ní bó ṣe divert. I'm not like you, but àwọn Yorùbá, most of them, I also realized that they relied on we that we live in diaspora. Even I have to be true to me, Yoruba, but we realize that Yoruba tí kò ní ṣe gan tẹ́ bá provide iṣẹ́ fún wọn gan, they are not ready to do it. They are ready to like ja 2K gbambi, ja 5K gbambi, 1,000 gbambi. It's like an income for most of them in Nigeria. This is what I realized there. You know, but I won't lie to you. Àwọn táwa láta abroad gan, àwa gan ò ní ṣe balabala Nigeria because nǹkan wọ́n gan. And everybody are bringing their problem. Ẹni tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá sọ̀rọ̀ rí tó mọ̀ yín gan rí àwọn akọlẹ̀kùn léyìn pé tó bá get sport pé ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ dé ni. So I have to be very careful, and you know, life is very different. The more kò Nigeria tí mo feel náà lélẹ̀ is very, very different. The people there, they don't love themselves, don't empathy. Even people that come from diaspora, is very different. It's like they don't have any mercy for us. They are just only after our own pocket, our money. That's just it. So it's a very bad situation. And with the way Nigeria is going to, I can't say, because there were those states. APC, so it's like election is not even working in that country. They're just putting themselves in there. So that's all I can.
All right. Shegoni, for this insight, especially for ẹni tó ṣẹ̀ dé, mo fẹ́ béèrè bóyá ìgbà tí wọ́n sọ pé ká fún Tinubu láyè, àdí Tinubu mú, ǹjẹ́ ẹ kò mention fún pé tí Tinubu bá lọ ṣe tán, ṣé expectation wọn, ṣé any kind of that communication láàrin àwọn tẹ́jọ bá engage yẹn, because most of them exactly tẹ́ ṣe sọ ẹ̀ náà ni wọ́n sọ pé Ìgbòho lọ jókòó díẹ̀ náà fún Tinubu láyè kó perform kádẹ̀wò tó fẹ́ ṣe, but èmi ò mọ bí yẹn ṣe affect in táwọn ń béèrè àti tí Tinubu ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́, because two different things ni.
Mr. Koiki, see, do you know, nǹkan tí mo rí pé tí Tinubu bá ṣe tán, kò sí anybody again bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́. Tinubu nǹkan tó lè ṣe fún wa ni kókó pé wa kúrò nílẹ̀ lérí. Nǹkan táwọn pípọ̀ yẹn try láti sọ àgàgà, iṣẹ́ tẹ̀ rí ìyí man tí mo rí yẹn, ìyẹn tẹ̀ ó wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ yín báyìí. So èmi ò wá engage yẹn pé bí èmi àti mo mọ Mr. Koiki àbí mo ní nọ́mbẹ̀ ṣó yẹn, mi ò jẹ́ ó mọ̀. Mi ò dẹ̀ ní èmi kò tẹ̀ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé mo mọ̀ yín gan ìwé ìbò ṣe ń sọ. So kò tó ń tẹ̀ láti máa sọ ní pé Tinubu ní pé the only thing tó ń believe pé bí ó lè ṣe fún wa ní bóyá regional government.
Kọ́lọ́n kó ṣọ́wá dìgbà yẹn. I think,
And I keep telling
yeah.
him that I don't even believe in regional government, that the best thing for us is just to dissolve this contract for us to go our separate way.
Okay.
But you know, the mama Yorùbá tó jẹ́ wípé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ máa bọ̀ wípé bí wọ́n jẹ́ lábẹ́ APC ni don't try not to be political correct. No matter how you try to engage them, they always try to be, to divide you, to argue. They can argue so much that you will be the one to just try to excuse them.
One were defensive ni. One defend the or defensive. That's what's the train one ni. One were defensive.
Minister Tinubu, all these people are criminals, and he was like, no, just trying to be political correct that I have to close the conversation.
Come out to Lord
Mr. Koik, I won't lie to you. They know you very well in Nigeria. I will not lie to you.
All right.
Because I want to more expect of Daruko.
Am I going into too much details? Odabe, Shegoni for the feedback, and we're grateful that you went safely and came back. Many people do go, and then sometimes they can't come back. I do follow you.
Somebody has to do it for a very long time, Mr. Koiki. I'm so grateful. When I came back, I can feel the relief.
I do for long, and I'm happy to hear that you're back right into your base and territory. Kolomban Wapolu, happy Sunday and the Banky family. Saying off it, that's it. Àti pé kílẹ̀ yìí náà rò látara nǹkan tí a ti ń gbọ́. Nọ́mbà tẹ́ máa pè sí òun náà ni +44 74 04 40 5917. Any other number àní lè gbé yàtọ̀ sí nọ́mbà tí a pè síta yìí. Ẹ bá wa gbóhùn sókè alàgbà wa tó ń pè wá náà. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wa. Happy Sunday.
Mo jẹ́ kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Odùduwà pé wọ́n pé ọ̀sìn mi tèmi. Question tẹ́ bèrè yẹn question ńlá ni. Tẹ́ bèrè pé ṣé àwọn ọba wa ṣé àwọn alálẹ̀ ò bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ nípa tí.
Yes, ìtorí bẹ́ẹ̀ gangan ni pointer program yìí wà lórí ẹ̀.
Ṣé rí tẹ́ a bá wo àwọn Israel pẹ̀lú Gòyáládì nígbà tí wọ́n jà, kì í ṣe pé bóyá gbogbo àwọn tó wà lọ́wọ́ da Gòyáládì yẹn nínú wọn dùn bí wọ́n ṣe ń dojúkọ Israel. Kì í dẹ̀ ṣe gbogbo àwọn Israel náà ló ní òní agbára láti dojúkọ Gòyáládì bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n yan ojú. Òun lọ́lọ́run fi gbé David dìde tó dojúkọ tọ́nà dẹ̀ fún láti kọ́ńkà ẹ̀. Ẹ mọ̀gbà tí Ọlọ́run ti ń bá àwọn bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ kó di gbé bàbá Sunday Igboho dìde ni. Ẹ dẹ̀ mọ̀ wípé before that time kó di pé ọ̀rọ̀ ń fẹjú báyìí. Ẹ mọ̀ pé Tinubu nísìnyí ó tẹ̀dá ẹ̀kọ́ kọ́ńdà díẹ̀ ní àkókò ẹ̀ láì nígbà tó ti di president. Kò sẹ́nikẹ́ni tó fẹ́ gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tó máa di lọ́wọ́ ó máa mú kúrò lójú ọ̀nà ni. Ẹ dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé òun fúnra ẹ̀ ká sọ pé òun gan ló yan àwọn ọba yẹn sípò kó má bàa tábù ẹ̀ tóyí alálẹ̀ bá tiẹ̀ bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ gan wọn ò lè sọ síta. Everything bet èmi mọ̀ wípé ọba sọ̀pọ̀tì ọba ò sọ̀pọ̀tì tí àkókò bá tó bọ́ọ̀lù ń ṣe máa ṣe òun nìkan ló yé. Ká fi gbẹ́kẹ̀lé wa kúrò nínú ènìyàn. Ìgbésẹ̀ tí a bá máa gbé mo mọ̀ pé Ọlọ́run á darí wa ó dẹ̀ kí ń darí wa torí pé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ìyà ti pọ̀ jù. Mo mọ̀ wípé Ọlọ́run máa gbà fún wa sí ohun tọ́lọ́run ti fi hàn tipẹ́ ni Ọlọ́run á gbà ṣùgbọ́n bó ṣe máa ṣe òun nìkan ló yé. Ọlọ́run á ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Alálẹ̀ bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ dáadáa ṣùgbọ́n ṣé wọ́n lè sọ síta èyí tó ń ṣe gan ṣé kì í ṣe pé lẹ́yìn àwọn kan tó ní ìgboyà láti jáde náà àwọn bá wọ̀nyẹn. Tọ́ba ẹ̀ tó bá ṣe kí náà tọ́ba tó ti kún fún wọn tó sinmi. Wọ́n wá gbà ní ipò tí a wà bẹ̀tẹ̀ mímọ̀ pé lé téèyàn fi tọ́mọ èrè ló máa wo. Ẹ ṣeun.
Ẹ ṣe gan ni alàgbà wa. Tábárí ẹni tó fẹ́ dá sí kí ẹ pè wọlé. Aago 10 ó kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 10 náà ni a wà lórí ìkànnì wa tí a mọ̀ sí Koikimedia níbi tí a ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Yorùbá Nation campaign. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn tí wọ́n ti bá wa dá sí àti gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ti ṣe ń bá ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn bọ̀, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín náà ti fi oríṣiríṣi ọ̀rọ̀ sínú comment section wa tí ẹ̀ ń béèrè tí ẹ̀ dẹ̀ ń kí wa lọ́tún lọ́sì. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ka lára àwọn tí wọ́n ti bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Allen Conde ní some kings in Yoruba land against our freedom because their forefathers also slave and sold our own forefathers to slavery. That is why some kings today reject our freedom. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni ẹ̀yin náà rí pé àwọn ọba títàná ni wọ́n tà wá sí oko ẹrú kó tó di pé àwọn tèmi náà wọ́n ń tà wá sóko ẹrú. Ó kù ọjọ́ 4 lénìí tí àwọn bá fẹ́ ṣe ìpàdé tí wọ́n fẹ́ fi tọwọ́ bọ̀wé láti kó wa padà sí inú ìtàn pè ní amalgamation. Nítorí pé wọ́n bi àwọn ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pé ṣé ẹ fẹ́ káwọn ọmọ Yorùbá máa lọ àbí kílẹ̀ yìí fẹ́? Gẹ́gẹ́ bí n ta gbọ́, àwọn ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kọ̀ọ̀kan sọ pé àwọn sì fẹ́ ká wà nínú Nàìjíríà. Òun ló fa ìpàdé tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe tí mo sọ fún yín pé mítìnì yẹn máa pín sọ́nà 2 sí 3. Èyí tí àwa máa rí gẹ́gẹ́ bí public òun ni èyí tó ń pè ní gẹ́jẹ̀lẹ̀ camouflage, láti lè jẹ́ kó mọ̀ pé wọ́n jókòó lóòótọ́ wọ́n ṣèpàdé, àmọ́ èyí tí wọ́n máa tọwọ́ bọ̀ ìyẹn ò ní wá sínú kámẹ́rà. Kódà wọ́n máa gba gbogbo fóònù wọn sílẹ̀, kò sẹ́ni kankan tó máa mú fóònù. Kódà wọ́n máa scan wọn kó tó wọnú ibi tí wọ́n máa tọwọ́ bọ̀ núwèé. Ẹ lè máa ní kò ní possible, àmọ́ intan sọ yìí is intelligent. Àwọn balẹ̀ Yorùbá ti sọ fún Britain àtàwọn àgbáyé pé àwọn ò fẹ́ kí Yorùbá kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà. Bí wọ́n ṣe máa ṣe kí Yorùbá ní àlàáfíà làwọn fẹ́. Bó ṣe máa ṣe kí Yorùbá lè continue láti lè rí owó yá lágbàáyé láti lè fi run ní Nàìjíríà kí àwa náà jàǹfààní nínú ẹ̀, torí pé gbogbo gbèsè tí Nàìjíríà ń jẹ Yorùbá náà wà lára àwọn tí wọ́n ń lo owó yẹn. So Allen Conde tún sọ pé they are against us because in táwọn bàbá ńlá wọn ṣe náà nìyẹn, àti pé in tó ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ lénìí kò jẹ́ kó jọ wá lójú. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo tún jẹ́ kó yé gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé ní èní tí a mọ̀ sí ọjọ́ 3 nínú oṣù kọkànlá ọdún 2024, ó kù ọjọ́ 4 ìpàdé ewu, ìpàdé gbọ́nmiòtó, ìpàdé àkóbá àdábá, ìpàdé tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe, tí wọ́n ń pera wọn pé àwọn lọ́balọ́ba máa ṣèpàdé, tí wọ́n fẹ́ dẹ páńpẹ́ fún bàbá wa olóyè ọmọ Adéyẹmọ pé tó bá wá sí Nàìjíríà àwọn máa bá Tinubu sọ̀rọ̀ pé kó má dá dúró lẹ́nu ọ̀nà, kó jẹ́ kó wọlé dé, kó wà nínú ìpàdé yẹn. Ìpàdé yẹn wá máa lọ. Nígbà tí ìpàdé bá máa fi tán tó lóyè fi máa jáde lọ báyìí, ṣe ni wàá ragàbó. Ẹ rántí pé ní 2021 nígbà tó lóyè fi lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ Gani Adams ní Guru Maharaji, helicopter wà parked ní Ìbàdàn tí àwọn DSS, ẹ lọ playback fídíò yẹn tó lóyè fi bọ́ṣọ lójú títì. Irú nǹkan tó máa ṣe fún enemy wọn àbí fún ara wọn, òun ni wọ́n fi set fún olóyè Ìgbòho pé máa bọ̀ nílé. Wọ́n ń pè lẹ́yìn, mò ń jẹ́ kẹ́ mọ̀ pé wọ́n ń pe olóyè gan lẹ́yìn. Wọ́n fi fọ́sẹ̀ pé kó wálé, wọ́n ń tàn pé kò ní sí nǹkankan, pé gbogbo ohun tí a bá ń sọ pé kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Àmọ́ mo tún fẹ́ fi dá gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lójú pé èmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbẹnusọ fólóyè, olóyè ò níbi kankan tó ń lọ ju pé ó wà pẹ̀lú àwọn fámìlì ẹ̀, ó ní the privacy ẹ̀. Ọdún 2 níjọba Buhari fi lé olóyè kúrò nínú ilẹ̀ tí bàbá ẹ̀ tó ní, torí pé tá bá wo ìlà tó lóyè kọ, ìlà yẹn indicate identity wa. Àmọ́ Fúlàní tí Buhari jẹ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀yà kankan tó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá, wọ́n ní olóyè kò lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti wà lórí ilẹ̀. Ìyẹn ló ṣe ti lọ sínú Benin Republic. Bọ́ a rí pé lẹ́yìn ọdún 2 olóyè ó gba ìtúsílẹ̀. Ìtọ́ tó wá fi ṣe nísìn ni pé wọ́n fẹ́ fi ẹ̀tàn fi tàn wálé pé kó má bínú, kódà kó gbà pé wọ́n máa ṣí àkáǹtì ẹ̀ tọ́tì, wá fún ní owó tíjọba ní wọ́n jẹ́ gan kó kọ̀ wálé káwọn jọ ṣèpàdé torí ìpàdé táwọn fẹ́ ṣe ìpàdé àlàáfíà ni kò ń ṣe ìpàdé àlàáfíà ló fẹ́ ṣe o ìpàdé àkóbá àdábá ló fẹ́ ṣe fúnran Yorùbá ó lè ní kò ní rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe rántí pé ètò tá a ṣe lánàá journalist yẹn ó ń bi Kúnlé Ọláwùnmí pé báwo ló ṣe máa possible kí wọ́n islamize gbogbo Nàìjíríà ṣó possible ṣá ní 21st century bí wọn náà bá lajú ẹ̀ kalẹ̀ wàá rí i pé gbogbo ohun tó ń lọ nínú Nàìjíríà ó ti ń tó pé wọ́n ti islamize already àwọn northerners náà wọ́n fẹ́ kí wọ́n yọ owó orí tó ń pè ní VAT mo ra nǹkan kan lórí Apple tó deliver sí ọ̀dọ̀ mi lánàá nígbà tí mo tún wá ń wo bíìlì yẹn ó wá ṣọ́ọ̀kì mi díẹ̀ pé ẹni tí mo rà yìí $24.95 ni wọ́n pè nígbà tó máa fi deliver tí mo wo owó tó yọ lákàntì mi wọ́n yọ VAT lé lórí now VAT yẹn ni àwọn málà tí a mọ̀ sí Gàmbàrí Fúlàní torí kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń pè láwùsá ní north gbogbo àwọn governors wọn Fúlàní ni wọ́n Ganduje tó jẹ́ olórí APC ọmọ Fúlàní ni El-Rufai àti gbogbo wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ àwọn wá wà against VAT àmọ́ wọ́n mind pé kí alcohol táǹtà àti àwọn nǹkan míì tó jẹ́ ẹlẹ́dẹ̀ táwọn ò ní jẹ tọ́ọ̀dẹ̀ ní jẹ́ kó set up business yẹn pé kó gba VAT lé lórí bọ̀ káwọn gbowó yẹn lóòótọ́ o lè ní àwọn ọba wọ̀ tó bẹ́ẹ̀ èmi ò ní sọ pé àwọn ọba wọ̀ ní tó bẹ́ẹ̀ o torí pé wọ́n ti accept pé àwọn máa sign amalgamation padà wọ́n lè má wàá fẹ́ pè ní amalgamation fáwa wọ́ọ̀dẹ̀ ní sọ́sìtà pé wọ́n ti amalgamate wa èyí tó máa ṣe ni pé as the custodian of the stool tó ń darí wa wọ́n ní right láti sọ fún àgbáyé tó o bá mọ ibi tó ń pè ní àgbáyé we have 195 countries around the world and gẹ́gẹ́ bí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá a ní right pẹ̀lú àwọn ọba wa láti indicate pé a ṣe Nàìjíríà mọ́ tá bá wo ibi tí Nàìjíríà wà lórí máàpù yẹn Nàìjíríà òun lélẹ̀ ní around this area àwọn ọba wa ti accept pé àwọn sì fẹ́ kí ìlú coexist how long ló fẹ́ coexist I don't have that but wọ́n ti accept pé kí Nàìjíríà kí continue láti exist nítorí pé wọ́n rò pé àwọn sì máa jàǹfààní nínú Nàìjíríà èdè tá a ṣe ń pariwo tá a ṣe ń kò sẹ́ni wẹ̀ tó sọ pé ọba kan ní wà níbẹ̀ orí gbogbo ọba lọ́pẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn ọba kan máa wá lọ àwọn kan ò ní lọ but kò ń ṣe nú ibi tó ti máa ṣèpàdé yẹn ló ti fẹ́ sign this deadly new agreement with Britain and the West. It will be a different location. And like I said, àwọn ọba kọ̀ọ̀kan tó fly wọlé sí location kan outside Nigeria láti ṣe àwọn one or two things. We can tell you that gbogbo flight chart wọn ó wà lọ́wọ́ àwa kan and I will leave it like that for now. Now, mo ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa VAT lẹ́ǹkan táwọn málà sọ pé àwọn ò fẹ́. Ǹjẹ́ àwa mọ̀ pé látara VAT òun ni ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ mo lọ wo ohun tí mo ní mo rà yẹn lórí Apple ni mo ti rà Inca charger ni mo rà Inca charger, you know, it's quite expensive, but it's a good quality. It cost £24.96 ni mo san ni wọ́n polówó ẹ̀ lórí website wọn, and I thought maybe iye tí máa san nìyẹn. Ìgbà tó debit card mi gbogbo mind mi ni pé mo san £24.96. nígbà tí wàá di àárọ̀ tí mò ń wo receipt mi, mo wá realize pé apparently wọ́n add the VAT mọ́ at 20%. Wọ́n add the VAT mọ́ in tí mo rà. VAT yẹn wá bọ́ sí £4.99. So gbogbo iye tí wọ́n charge debit card mi, ó wá bọ́ sí £29.95. Total price including VAT. Ṣé nígbà tí mo rí nísìn, ṣé kí n dá in tí mo rà yẹn padà? I don't think so. Because number one, mo need ẹni mo ṣe order bí mo rà. Now, ṣé kí n lament pé wọ́n yọ VAT tí mo dẹ̀ mọ in tí VAT yẹn ń ṣe fún àwọn ọmọ tẹ́ ń gbóhùn wọn yìí? Torí nínú VAT tí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ń yọ, òun ni mo fi ń sọ pé bọ́ bá lọ sí hospital kò sówó kan tí máa san yàtọ̀ sí bóyá ara àwọn oògùn kọ̀ọ̀kan, gbogbo oògùn kan ló free, but majority of it are free. But pé mo gbé ọmọ mi lọ sí hospital láàárọ̀ yìí for whatever reason, mo ní láti ní owó kankan lápò mi. Mo ní láti ní any penny nínú káàdì mi. Mo ní láti register card nílé ìwòsàn tí wọ́n ti máa tọ́jú wọn. Owó VAT yìí ó wà lára tó fi ń tọ́jú wọn. Owó VAT yìí ni wọ́n fi ń fún wọn lóúnjẹ ní school. Owó VAT yìí ni wọ́n fi ń ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan. Mo kí brother mi triple DRS. A country now, plus 20% VAT will be added. But nígbà tí mo rí advert yìí tí mo fi rà yẹn, ọkàn mi ò tẹ̀ click pé mo máa san VAT lé lórí. Àárọ̀ yìí ni mo kàn wá ń wo receipt yẹn through email tó send sí mi pé wọ́n yọ VAT lórí kinní. Bóyá mo bá ti ṣe bàbá Ìjẹ̀bú, because mo rí ètò wà cheaper lórí eBay. Ara ń ta tí wọ́n ń sọ pé quality àti quantity wà. Èyí tí mo rí lórí eBay was £8.95. A ṣiṣẹ́, but how it will last is two different things. So Yorùbá nation tá à ń polongo, Yorùbá nation tá à ń sọ fúnra wa pé a fẹ́ jẹ́ kó jẹ́ bí country tá a fẹ́, it's because a mọ the quality in tó fẹ́ jáde lára ẹ̀. Nigeria tá wà nú ẹ̀ presently is a quantity, and when you have quantity, gbogbo ala rántí nígbà tá wà ní, I was in boarding school, even though it was a private boarding school, and I mean a private because I was never in the school, boarding. I was in a private. Igwe James, good afternoon, boss. We need to stop the scheme. Whatever we need, we are not supposed to allow them to go to that meeting. Well, we have been saying that. Moki Bokun Oluwa for the super chat that we have on our backup channel. But my 48,000 subscribers on Koikimedia, we don't have any monetization on it and not even a single advert. And I'm pleased to say that every month we have 800 new subscribers. That is good. And I'm happy that the caller that called us earlier told us that they disagree with me in Nigeria, but they can hear me loud and clear. And for me, that I am pleased. And you know why? Because also I've seen many of my videos circulating on other platforms. Please continue to make use of my video. It will give you good revenue because I know that. I've seen platforms that are using my videos, and when I go and look at other videos that they've pushed on their platform, my own particular video is reaching at least 12K view. You multiply that by whatever numbers it means. But that is the awareness of what we are doing here. And being a consistent journalist, I've told you I am not your Bolekaja media. I am a journalist. And my journalism will continue to reflect in the job I do. I can tell you at any point, without bringing Igboho and Babakitoye into it, that we will fight a big war as a journalist. Because right now, North Korea is preparing for a war. North Korea has given Russia soldiers, either discreetly or not, to prepare to continue to fight on behalf of Russia with Ukraine. America continued to fund Israel with a lot of weapons to defend themselves against Iraq, Iran, Hezbollah, and many others within the region. But what we don't have is we don't have the means of weapons to fight. But the only weapon that I still have today is my media. And your contribution to this media is well important. Yes, allegedly, regarding the North Korea and Russia. And don't trust all the West media. They are the most biased media you can ever think of. They might be glamorous in their little brand new, I've seen them with massive, studio. You might say that my children make noise and all that, is this a platform? But this is the truth. The only platform that can speak against the ills of the humanitarian of the Yorubas today, a platform like these and many others that are dedicated and without compromising. This platform will not compromise and will not stop speaking the truth. So, inte wa Nigeria, she ma binu dada. Interfere wa se ni pe ka slow down. Fẹ̀yìn, so that Tinubu lè put us in the danger. But we are not going to do that. Ni accept pé torí ìfẹ́ tẹ́ ní sí Tinubu, ẹni kọ́kọ́ lẹ nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí Tinubu, àwa nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí Tinubu jù yín gan lọ. Àwa a nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí Tinubu jù yín lọ. Because bí Tinubu bá jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá tó ní làákàyè, tí ó dẹ̀ gbọ́n, tó dẹ̀ smart, kò need the 4 years láti break up Nigeria. My camera, my map actually blocked my view. I didn't realize that. It doesn't need 4 years to dissolve Nigeria. And Tinubu they need láti gbé wa padà lọ sí any regional government or any restructure Nigeria. Because you will still be embedded in Nigeria. So many Nigerians that watch me like this, that are against us, they are against me because they believe that I am doing very well and I'm making a lot of money from this. That is the only thing they're upset about. They are just thinking that, wow, this guy must have made so much money that he's not ready to give up. That is what they're thinking. That is the average thinking of a poor man that did not realize that the reason why he is suffering was the reason why I traveled out of Nigeria in 1998. The reason why you are suffering today is the reason why I japa. But they are now saying like, so this guy can make huge amount of money, but they forgot. Like I always say, and I'm proud to say it anywhere, that we are all different people. I am not your normal guys in Nigeria that have suffered. I did not suffer before I left Nigeria. Let me say that clearly. I did not lack anything up till I finished my secondary school in 1991, I guess. And I did well in my school start. Tinubu cannot provide us with his original, well, let's even forget his birth certificate. This, your president, cannot give me his school cert, original. I have left Nigeria 25 years ago, and I still have the true copy of my WAEC. I might not have passed all the subjects, but I passed the one that is needed to have allowed me to get into university in Nigeria. Majority of you that left and went to university are people that came, like I told you, a brother I spoke to yesterday. I gave him a lot of words of encouragement and a lot of tips that I will not share on the social media. He arrived for his postgraduate. I'm sure he must have done a lot of study at the university in Nigeria. But we know the reason why he came here. I won't go into all the details, but he came here for postgraduate. I'll leave it like that because my program is monitored by the many people, and I mean many people, you know what I mean by that. So I am not here to say people have left Nigeria for whatever reason. I left Nigeria because Nigeria was not a good place for me. I can say that personally because I have gone through the orders of having immigration issues and all that. And they can't do anything with me now. I have children here, and they're British born, just like Kemi Badenoch. You know my children have the right to contest to become the next prime minister of this country, if I nurse them very well. You don't know that? Without any intimidation. But I still want my children to know that they are from Yoruba land. And if all goes as planned, they can go and contest, even for any position if they feel like, or set up business, or do exactly what their dad has done here as the least job, cleaning position. I can say to my children, look, Yoruba land is good though. It's a cleaner there well. Tell them you have holiday, your right to be respected, and they will go back to Yoruba land and do the job. And that same job is exactly what I have done to look after them. But the difference is that the Nigeria today is not going to give that children and your children in Nigeria. So I think we're against Wanile. We are not upset with you. I understand your plight. Jagaban Tidebe, expectation is it should perform well. Well, I pray that it perform well, but I know that that prayer is a false. Because I can reason that but the country needs to dissolve so that we can be able to go back and set up our own government. But right now, Seyi Makinde wants to become the next president, another criminal. So all this is like a trap, a bubble trap to set us into Nigeria and continue to make Britain that is let's put it this way, Britain that is taking care of my own children, directly and indirectly, because I still take care of them, is now saying that Nigerian government will also take care of Nigerian children. But they know that that is a lie. That is a blatant lie from either Kemi Badenoch or even the Labour Prime Minister Keir Starmer. They know it's a lie. They cannot give you that false hope when I am still in this country. As long as I live in this country, if Kemi Badenoch comes out and say Nigeria will be great, I will tell her she's talking nonsense. That's a blatant lie. You are a liar. Don't tell us Nigeria is going to be great. We want to have a Yoruba country to have relationship with Britain. That is where we should be. Have our own embassy, have our own committees, have different things. That Diwali was celebrated in number 10 Downing Street. But what are they going to celebrate in number 10 Downing Street? Okay, they will celebrate 1st of October independent with people that are different. I want Britain to have cordial relationship with the Yoruba people, the Yoruba government, tomorrow, today. But I don't want this continuity of a fake country that Britain created, that is still existing. That if I say now that to Prime Minister, I say, Prime Minister, my Prime Minister, I voted for Labour Party. I say, my Prime Minister, can we have Isheshe Day celebrated? You know what he's going to tell me? The Prime Minister will say, wow, Mr. Koiki, I can go to the next Labour conference next year. I did one, my first arrival in this country 25 years ago. Ibukun Oluwa says, suffering and smiling, every facet of Nigeria has been destroyed. No job, no fuel, no life. It is time for Yoruba to get out of this contraction. We are not the same. But many Yoruba at home says, Koiki, we don't even like what you are doing because you are just sitting in London and telling us to break up Nigeria. But it is the same London that Baba Awolowo came to get independent. The only difference is Baba Awolowo didn't have the privilege to be on the social media like this because there was no social media. Nígbà àwọn Baba Awolowo. So ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wá a bit angry. Have you ever sat down and asked, Baba Awolowo náà wá sí UK láti wá béèrè fún independent? Even though Baba Awolowo went to contest, he was everywhere. And after the election, Baba Awolowo was asking the question, how did I get defeated? We will not be defeated because the world has become more global. It is more global than it was before. And what that means is that there is no amount of lies by King Charles, God bless the king, by his government. I started from that note because many of you don't know that King Charles is the one in charge of the prime minister. Even if Kemi Badenoch becomes the next prime minister, and I say if God will happen, but I know that she will be removed before that time because I know that the English people would not want her to become the prime minister. Take my word to anywhere. They did not. Labour Party did the same thing with Gordon Brown. Gordon Brown was a Scottish. He was a prime minister, but not prime minister that was elected by the people. As at the time that election was coming, and Gordon Brown was pushed out. They will do the same thing with Kemi Badenoch. She will be a party leader, but I do not see her as a prime minister because they will not give her that privilege to be one. You can disagree with me on that. I have lived here for 25 years to understand the British politics. Kemi Badenoch, take it anywhere. Tobacco election lady. Within that 2 weeks, they will push her out of office. She will not be the leader that we are seeing today. So, but while she's there right now, she can influence a position for our people, the Yoruba people, even though our true alliance is with the British monarchy system. And she has the right to defend the integrity and the loyalty. And you and me, for those of us that have the British passport, you would also do the same thing because that is the allegiance that you swear to. As long as you have a British passport or you were born here, you are automatically having allegiance with this country. The reason why you don't have that in Nigeria today is because the Igbos will not swear any allegiance to the southwest. The northern part of Nigeria will not swear allegiance. Ige, Olutayo, Oladele, you've asked a very brilliant question. And the question for the benefit of those on the other platform is that, how do you want to achieve this laudable future? Please explain. Kilo kan Downing Street in all of these. I don't know your position in terms of your support for us or not. It's not a question. But let me first take you back to history. That there is nothing Nigeria will do as long as it's still existing that Britain is not involved. Let me repeat that again. In Yoruba, kò sí nǹkan tí Nigeria fi ṣe lénìí tí Britain tí kò ní fi ọwọ́ sí. Èyí tó bá dẹ̀ sọ pé àwọn fẹ́, wọ́n fẹ́ náà ni. Èyí tó bá náà wọ́n fẹ́, wọ́n fẹ́ náà ni. Ṣé Britain máa fọwọ́ sí pé kí Yorùbá kó dá dúró? The answer is no. I'm sure you're happy now. But do we have the right to inform them of our plight? The answer is yes. Now, I'll take you back to a bit of history. I don't know how old you are. You might want to share that with me. I am 40 plus myself. Don't give me the true age. In 1957 and 58, Baba Awolowo, I'm sure you know very well because your name is Yoruba, was coming to this country to ask for something. Do you know what it was for? Kí ló rò pé Baba Awolowo wá nígbà yẹn? In that cold weather. The weather is still a little bit much better, but it's still cold. Baba Awolowo was traveling here with Tafa Balewa and Nnamdi Azikiwe in their youth age to secure our freedom for independence. You might say that, but Koiki, we already have independence. We don't need Britain anymore. That is the lie that you are being told again. So when you are asking Kinokon Downing Street, we are not automatically speaking to Downing Street. That is the difference between your understanding. Downing Street is also part of Britain monarch system. So a letter dropped to Downing Street is automatically sent to King Charles, because Downing Street is just a place, a residence. T Prime Minister Wangbe, Tinubu has not visited it yet, at least, but Igboho did, and we are grateful. The letter is important key, and it's very, very important in the sense that the same Britain that gave us independence, every discussion of independence did not happen on your soil in 1957-58 that led to 1959 election, that led to a fraudulent election in the 1959 that was rigged by Britain against the Yoruba people, because Awolowo won that election. But Britain rigged the first ever censor. Ìyẹn ni Mala ń lò títí dèní to continue to prove that they have the biggest number, which was a lie, because Britain cooked that. So just to stick on your question, the importance of Downing Street is to highlight our case. And what is our case? Nigeria that you put together, the people called Yoruba people are no longer interested. I don't know what the content is. I didn't read the content. I don't know what it was inside. But for the fact that it is our leader, it is not. If Tinubu took the letter there, I know what Tinubu would have told them, because Tinubu would have said, we don't want Nigeria to break. But for the fact that Baba Akintoye wrote the letter, Baba Akintoye wants Yoruba people to be independent away from Nigeria. So your understanding is that Downing Street won't do anything. I have told you that, yes. But it is important as Yoruba in a diplomatic world. Do you know that Russia representatives still live in America? You'll be asking me, Koiki, kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀? Yes, because in as much as this country has put over $300 million of Russia revenue tó tọ́jú sí bíbá as a reserve or their stake, nígbà tó gún bẹ̀rẹ̀, UK gbé ẹsẹ̀ lé gbogbo owó yẹn. But do you still know that the Russian embassy is still operating? That is the world that we are living. So even enemies must talk to each other. So don't be stupid and don't be myopic to think that it was just a letter. It is more than a letter. It is bigger than a letter, because that letter that you are just thinking is a letter can save your life, whether you are in Nigeria presently or you are out of Nigeria. And I hope that gives you a bit of clarity and understanding. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, letter tá gbé lọ yẹn, the impact of it lẹ́yìn náà ṣe ń béèrè pé kí ló wà important nínú Downing Street. Ṣé mo pé tó bá gbà gbé lọ, your argument will still be ṣàṣìṣe Yorùbá nation àbí ṣàti compromise. So yes, èèyàn péréke ló ń gba ìlú, but it is important that we continue to push and push. Okay, you've come further with question again or comment. I am 55 years old, a believer of Yoruba nation, but sincerely, I don't know how we can achieve this. I didn't say it is not achievable, but many of the Yorubas are saboteurs. There's always saboteurs even within our family. I'm sure you know that. And thank you so much for giving me a bit of your age. So that means pé Edagba Jumilo Eshegoni. You can see now we want to change the tone. How is it going to be achievable, Amajani?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So calm, energizing, DLC.
Amaja. Whatever integer bá mú lọ́dọ̀ tí yín, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ló ṣe rí. I don't want to go into too much details. Amajani. a máa jà, a máa jà gidi, a máa ṣe kí ni, a máa jà gidi. Ìjà gidi ni mo sọ, ìjà tó máa last 2 years if care is not taken. Ìjà tó lè last 1 year. Don't expect, including myself and anyone, tó ń gbọ́ Yorùbá Nation pé ìjà yẹn máa last for 6 months. Any day tíjà yẹn bá bẹ̀rẹ̀, let's first give it the first 1 year as fight. You know why? Àwọn tó ń support, and let me put it this way, let's even, for argument's sake, this is for argument's sake, not a fact. Even if Tinubu complete his tenure, 4 years, he bribed himself, he gets 8 years. I've done this analysis and I've given us the timeline of how old Tinubu Maje. God spare his life. I am not praying for Tinubu's death. Some people do pray, and I'm being honest. But I am not praying for his death. I am not making that point to a comment to Babawa. This is a general discussion. Gbogbo àwọn tó wà against the Koiki. Ṣé mọ̀ pé tí Tinubu bá fún wa ní mo put ara wa náà tó bá fún wa ní nǹkan tá fẹ́ pé kó gbé Nàìjíríà padà lọ sí regional, which is the big question mark tó wà ní orí table pé Tinubu gbé wa lọ. Ṣé mọ̀ pé tí kò bá gbé wa lọ sí regional, ṣé mọ̀ pé máa di part of our army, let me put it that way, that is going to fight. Kódà ìjà ti yín ó máa wá fẹ́ le jù tàwa gan lọ. And let me put it on record. Let me put it on record. But the thing is, we don't want to wait for that record. Ìyẹn la wá ṣe ń push pé kí Yorùbá country kó tètè wá sí ìmúṣẹ as quickly as possible today. But we can't push it out if we have believers that think that Tinubu has something to offer. And we don't want to fight each other. But àwọn kan ní tá bá bára wa jà nínú ilé, ará àtagùn ní mọ̀ bá ń jà. Ṣó wá dá nísìn ká wá sékòó, ká wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ awareness. Ẹ mọ̀ pé awareness ni máa kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀. Kí Sanwó-Olú wá ní èmi ò gbà kẹ́ wà lÉkòó, ẹ lè lọ ṣe ní Ogun State. Bí Adapa bí ọdún àgbẹ̀ láyé torí ọmọ Ogun State ló pé rẹ̀. But má wá sékòó, ṣó mọ̀ pé state of excellence ní Lagos, and then operate business. Business yẹn lèmi gan fẹ́ kó affect. Because tí business tó bá ṣiṣẹ́ nínú Lagos State for a couple of days, the impact of that will be sent globally. Because shipping line tó bá lè pack ọkọ̀ láti deliver ọjà tó ń gbé bọ̀ láti China, láti Indonesia, láti many other countries, they will send signal out that there is a crisis in Lagos. Ṣé mo pé mo kọ́kọ́ sọ pé rally la máa fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ awareness, but into my leaders the crisis ọwọ́ ìjọba ló wà. Because government doesn't want us to be on the street for kódà they expect you to go home and sleep and come back out even if you have to. That is even if they will allow any such in Lagos State. But if we come out and start our awareness, how many people do we need on the street to keep the pressure going? Eba mi fi sínú comment section. Èèyàn mélòó lẹ rò pa need pé kó wà lójú títì láti demand fún ẹ̀tọ́ yìí? Do you think that we need 10,000 people? How many people do you expect us to have? I would suggest that if our awareness is great as we are pushing it now, thank you so much. Ibukunoluwa says 500,000. Alan Conde says 1 million. I was almost going to say the same thing. Let's even start with the first 100,000. But we don't want everybody from Kwara to come down because we still need a Kwara hold on to Kwara Funwa, because I cannot be in 2 places, but I can have my media in many places. As an example, if Igbowo and Babaki Toye call for any kind of awareness, and I'm saying awareness, Daluru, Jao, Nibon, Nikumo, if they call for awareness and 100,000 people cannot come out, That means we are still not yet fully ready. We must continue the awareness. I missed the call. I'm going to call the caller back. Did my message get clear? Taba nika jade listen. Tabari 100,000 people on the street. Then we go back to the round table. Hello, caller. Etonia.
Yes, sir. But about the
Chef, Chef, any suru, chef, Emma Power, program, Chef, that's in order, go ahead. All right. He doesn't want to speak live. Are you hungry? Clefije? You want the pasta? Okay, I'm going to warm it. So let me keep us engaged, and then I will prep the children's breakfast. We are just 2 hours. I think we can do our 3 hours. So if you're also, this is the time to take that short break. No, MIT talk I need the 1 million. If we get the 1 million, the country that we are asking for can be declared the same day. If 1 million Yoruba people turns out on the street at the call of Baba Akintoye and our formidable hero, Igboho, Yoruba nation can be declared the same day. I can push for that through Baba Akintoye and Igboho. I'm not saying that they will accept it, but I can push. If we have 1 million people out on the street. But before you have 1 million, you must first build the momentum. What is the momentum? Is what we are doing on a daily basis. We are preparing you for what is about to play out. You cannot have 1 million people and have now divided 1 million across the West, not on one location. On all the Yoruba land. That 1 million will literally shut down Nigeria, and we can make a declaration that same day. But we need to build from 100,000, increase the numbers. The fear of any government is the people. Kò sí bó ṣe fi maneuver. Ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá wa Ige Olútáyọ̀. Ẹ ṣé gan ni sir. God will get it for us, but God is not coming down. The people are the one that will do the job. God will make their life miserable. The politicians. Ọlọ́run máa dá èdè wọn rú. But tọ́lọ́run bá wá dá èdè wọn rú, ṣé káwa kọ́ wa food hands wa? We gotta be out there on the street. If we get 1 million people across Yoruba land, the world will say that they are ready. But what they're saying now is our king wants to put pressure in the reverse that they accept. The question is, should I accept or not accept? I want us to, ponder on that. I'm going to play something. I'm going to take off. No. I take close. I want to play something so that I can get my children breakfast. So I'm going to look for something to play that will take us about a few minutes off my desk. Share the program and invite others to do so. We need our kings not to think that we are stupid. Cheti Igboho àti Baba Akintoye bá ní ká jáde ní on the 6th as an example, a day before the rally, their own meeting. Cheto bá ní kí gbogbo ká jáde. Can we gain 100,000 to start with in Lagos? And probably maybe 30,000 in other states. Just to come out. I think block it or kako jade, kawa fe dun okan wa won, ka gbe black card, ka mu away, ka de sọ pé we want peace o, wa ja o, ka de ma aṣọ funfun yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ pọ̀ because aṣọ funfun yẹn àgbáyé máa rí tá bá ń jù sókè. And maybe from there something can start. What do you think? When I come back, you can share that with me. Any comment now, I will not be able to read it. So let's see what we can give ourselves to keep us going. I think I should put the speaker on. I hope my wife has not, or she's still not in bed, but I won't make it too loud. Check our voice. Ó dà pé Ìgbòho máa fún wa ní energy tó dáa. Ìdí tí ó ṣe sọ pé wọ́n fẹ́ pa àwọn èèyàn wọn, wọ́n dẹ̀ ní kò sí ìjọba, kò lọ ń dá sí tó kọ̀ọ̀kan wọn. Yeah? No, I'm not yet finished. I got 1 more hour. So ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ Olóyè Ìgbòho níbi tí ó ti ń bá BBC sọ̀rọ̀ some years back. Ká wá fi wo kí ló ṣe ń lọ. Ṣé n tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà yẹn, ṣó ṣì ń ṣẹlẹ̀ àbó ó ti dákun nígbà tí Tinubu débẹ̀?
Mi mo dá sí torí pé ọmọ Yorùbá ni mí. Bí ìjọba bá wà tí ò sí ẹ̀tọ́ tó yẹ kó ṣe fún aráàlú tí wọ́n dìbò fún tó jẹ́ ìjọba lé lórí. Tí ìjọba bá wà tí ààbò bá sí fún aráàlú tó olóòṣè ìjọba lé lórí, aráàlú dìde fúnra ẹ̀. Kì í ṣe pé mo pàṣẹ àbí mo dédé pàṣẹ àbí mo kàn sọ nǹkan tí ó wá látọkàn mi. Nǹkan tó fa ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni wípé ẹ̀yin náà wò láti bí ijọ́ mélòó kan sìn bí ọ̀sẹ̀ bíi méjì sìn nípa ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn Fúlàní tó wà ní gbogbo Bàràpá. Ẹ worú dókítà wa Dr. Fatai PhD doctor ọmọ Yorùbá tó kàwé tó gboyè ó wá lọ sílùú òyìnbó ní àìníye ọdún ó lọ ṣiṣẹ́ ó wá dé ó kówó dé ó wá lọ lu bàbá ẹ̀ ní Gàngán ó dá oko àgbàdo ẹ̀gẹ́ iṣu oríṣiríṣi nǹkan soya beans ó dẹ̀ gba ọmọ wa ní Gàngán bẹ́ẹ̀ náà síbẹ̀ rẹpẹtẹ tó ń bá a ṣiṣẹ́ Fúlàní wa jẹ oko ẹ̀ ó wá gbéra láti lọ bá àwọn Fúlàní yìí sọ̀rọ̀ láti lọ bá Sẹ́ríkì Fúlàní pé ẹ wá wo ohun tí àwọn ọmọ yín ṣe lórí oko mi kò yẹ kó rí báyìí lórí ilẹ̀ bàbá mi. Wọ́n dẹ̀ dé lókun bẹ̀ náà wọ́n dẹ̀ sàpà àìmọye èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ tá a lè múrúkọ wọn làwọn Fúlàní yìí bẹ́ lórí tí wọ́n pa wọ́n jí àwọn kan gbé ẹni tó bá gbowó tó kéré lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ wọ́n gba 7 million wọ́n gba 10 million wọ́n gba 11 million lórí ilẹ̀ bàbá wa. Ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn dùn mí ó bà mí lọ́kàn jẹ́ gan pé tá a bá torí pé tó Ọlọ́run gbà fáwa àwa ará àwọn ọmọ tí tẹ̀lé wa tó ń ṣààbò fún wa àwọn tí ọ̀lẹ́ni tí ó tẹ̀lé wọn kọ́ ìdí nìyí tó mú mi lọ síbẹ̀ yẹn. Ìgbà tí mo dẹ̀ débẹ̀ ohun tí mo lọ fún ni pé láti lọ bá a pé sógun tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí lórí ilẹ̀ wa sọ́dá ẹ ti ń gbé pẹ̀lú wa adẹ̀fàyè gbà yín àbáyín jà àṣẹ nǹkan jàǹbá fún yín. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni mò ń bá Sẹ́ríkì sọ̀rọ̀ làwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ yíyọ̀ mọ́ sí mi. Mo gba ìbọn yẹn lọ́wọ́ ìkan yọ àké àgbà ìkejì tún yọ ìbọn mi ìyẹn ti ẹ̀yìn ẹni bá wọnú fídíò yẹn tó ra fídíò wọn ó yin ìbọn yẹn sí mi kí n tó lọ́bọ̀ yẹn mọ́ lọ́wọ́. Ẹ bá gbọ́ fídíò yẹn pé ìbọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí dáhùn bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n yin ìbọn sí mi bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ ń bájà wá ẹ̀yin pípò yìí ẹ bá bájà wá ẹ̀ ní dúró tí ẹ bá ti wá lè wá àtúnṣe sí ọ̀rọ̀ jíjígbé àti pípa àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n wa àtàwọn àǹtí wa àbọ̀dá wa àtàwọn ìyá mi àtàwọn bàbá mi tẹ̀yìn wọn olóko mọ́ ìlú mẹ́ta kẹ́ forí lẹ̀ bàbá wa lẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ náà ń pa yìí sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn kí sọ̀rọ̀ ọjà àwọn kan gbé wọn fẹ́ pa àwọn mọ̀tò kílọ̀kàn mi kan mọ̀tò kílọ̀kàn mi kan kírísítì gbogbo táwọn ń pa yìí èmi ò ní ìdìgẹ́ta aláfíà Yorùbá ni mò ń wá ní ìṣẹ́ ìkẹ́kẹ́ ń bẹ̀ wọ́n ń dúnkòokò tọ́pọ̀ jù wọ́n ń dúnkòokò ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ táwọn tí ń dúnkòokò náà táwọn ń dúnkòokò mọ́ mi. Ṣùgbọ́n ohun tí èyí jẹ́ kí ẹrù bà mí ni pé ọgbẹ́ nínú Bíbélì kì í tí yẹn bá ń jà fún ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀ lórí nǹkan bàbá rẹ̀ tó bá kú síbẹ̀ kò sí kankan torí pé ó mọ̀ pé olùkọ́ náà ṣe nígbà díẹ̀ wọ́n ń dókòwò láti bí ìjẹ ẹni tọ́wọ́ ẹni ṣẹlẹ̀ ó sì ní ọdún pèmí ìfẹ́ wájú wọn máa àrẹ́sì ní ọdún ṣẹlẹ̀ ní oríṣiríṣi fún ọfẹ́ wájú omi nílé gbogbo àwọn ọba tó wà ní pátápátá inú wọn dùn wọ́n sì fọwọ́ sí pé ìyà tí ń jẹ àwọn etí tó àwọn òfin fúlàní lórí ilẹ̀ bàbá wọn mọ́ pípa ti tó àwọn tí wọ́n ń pa iná làwọn jọba lé lórí tí fídíò sí wà àwọn ọba gan ni wọ́n ń pè mí pé ìyà tí ń jẹ àwọn yìí ti tó àwọn tí wọ́n ń pa àwọn ọmọ àwọn tó ń pa yìí lọ́jọ́ ọ̀la àwọn náà làwọn sì jọba lé lórí ó ti tó bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sí àgbààgbà Yorùbá tínú rẹ̀ òdò sí pé kò sínú àgbà ẹ̀rù ń bà wọ́n náà ni ẹ̀rù ń bà wọ́n bàbá wa ni inú tí wọn náà dùn bí wọn ṣe ń pa wá bí Fúlàní ṣe ń jí wa gbé tó ń gbowó lálá lọ́wọ́ inú wọn ò dùn ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀rù ń bà wọ́n wọ́n bá fún iye wọn ní ibi tí wọ́n wà wọ́n yí pé nígbà tí wọ́n ń jí àwọn aráàlú gẹ̀gẹ̀ gbé tí wọ́n ń pa wọ́n sẹ́ni kankan sọ̀rọ̀ nígbà ya wọ́n lọ jí ọmọ ọba gẹ̀gẹ̀ gbé ọmọ ọba tí ń bẹ lórí ẹ̀ńgẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ wọ́n jí ọmọ bàbá gẹ̀gẹ̀ gbé fún kókó díẹ̀ wọ́n sì gba 4 million lọ́wọ́ bàbá kan tó gbọ́ ọmọ bàbá fún bàbá àwọn Fúlàní torí pé nígbà bá yá ayé ti gba àwọn Fúlàní ìdíbi pé wọ́n wá gbé ọba fún ẹ̀ nú ààfin wọ́n nìkan lọ mú kí buwọ́lá lọ lọ bá wọ́jọ àwa Yorùbá sì sùn a sì dákẹ́ a sì sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn bàbá wa dẹ̀ dákẹ́.
wá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Olóyè Ìgbòho for putting his life at risk for millions of us. Is a big task to put your life at risk for something, and I'm sure we're going to be grateful for him. We are now on the almost half an hour to the program. If all goes as planned, there's another interview we have later on tonight with Makonjola Adegun at about 7 p.m. Yoruba time. So let's hope that we can come and tell you a little bit more of the discussion and the topic that we are going to be treating. I'll see if I can find a topic. It's a particular topic that it's got to do with the upcoming meeting. So, Koiki, how do we stop this Oba's meeting that is coming up? We can rally around and say we are not part of what they want to do. But that means that we need many people to be out on the street to protest against such. And we must prepare that the current governor, Sanwo-Olu Babajide, does not want any disruptions of activities in Lagos State. Just like our governors were. These governors are also part of they are part of the people that are holding us back. So they are telling us that yes, there's nothing wrong in the government. It's just the economy problem around the world. People don't have jobs. Even they will tell you that people don't have jobs in the UK. They will tell you that people have problems in America. They will even tell you that people have problems in any part of the globe. And yes, it is true. People have such problems. But those problems are different from our own problem. Every part of the world has different problems. Our own current problem, and the reason why we are saying we don't want Nigeria again, is an identity crisis and a theft by the colonial or British during the 1914 amalgamation that converted a land into a different name. The land is still there. There's nothing wrong with the land. But orúkọ tó gbélé lórí òun ni ó jẹ́ contraction tó affect wa. And it has continued to affect us for the last 64 years. That we are still not sure of who we are. And the only way we can know who we are is to go back to exactly who we were before this amalgamation of 1914. Anything short of that, anything less than that, is a complete waste of time. The only option, the only option on the table is to demand our exit. Oh, I just saw Sheyi Tinubu's property that I visited. This was May 6, 2023. Sheyi Tinubu's mansion, locked away somewhere in St. John's Wood. what a total value of $11 million. I'm sure some of you will say, but he's a businessman. No, he's not a businessman, he's a monopoly. It is only their house that was gated with cover. The other house was open. You can see through the gate, transparent. I'm going to reshare that on my platform again. You can go and watch it. That was May 2023. But when I went there, I have a 1.6 comment on it. There was a lot of backfire. So now that his father is in government, whatever is wrong with you, illness, you're sick, you're struggling, just call on Sheyi Tinubu's father to resolve the problem. That is not my problem like I started. I picked something. I think we should go to that one. I'll come back to Adigun interview later. I picked something from the Arewa Connect. Arewa Connect on X. And I want to go back and read it quickly. Arewa Connect. Arewa Connect, you know what that means. There are people that speak as well on behalf of the Awusas. They have a good numbers of followers, bigger than mine, at least 3 times bigger than mine on X. They have a total followers of, okay, I have to be sure that that is what I wanted to say first. Yeah, they have a good numbers of followers, at least twice my own. On my own Twitter account, don't let that thing drop. Lori X me, because there's no longer Twitter, but we still call it Twitter, it's X. I have 44.5K followers. And I appreciate every one of you that follow, but please help me to continue to retweet so that my message can continue to reach many more Nigerians so that we can get this right. We're not fighting each other. We're only fighting the system that brought us together. Do you want more? You want more? So that is what we are fighting. I'll have to stand up again quickly. This time around, I can give us this. I'll come back on my seat. It won't be long. But what we're going to talk about, the Arewa Connect, I can give you what they were saying. Arewa Connect posted yesterday at about 8:17 a.m. in the morning with a total of 134.7K views. Kiniwoko. Nnamdi Kanu once says Nigeria is a zoo. Gradually, we are getting to understand what that means. This is coming from Arewa, the same Arewa that went in partnership with criminals that rendition and kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. They are now talking as well. So we're going to come back to that. And I'm going to tell you what Reno, Mokia Shake TV show, what Reno says as well, because there was another one that said something that Reno was responding to. But the northern part of Nigeria are speaking out gradually that if it would be war, we should just dissolve Nigeria so that nobody fight each other. Listen to this while I come back, in my space again. What is first foot forward to govern the country? If he does that, in 4 years, he can turn things around. But there are certain critical things he would need to do. The first thing is to say, what's the constitution? If, for instance, me and my wife Lillian don't agree in our marriage of 45 years, then we can't do anything. So the first thing that President Tinubu would need to do is to ensure that Nigerians all agree to be one country. You recall that Bolaige asked those 2 questions. Do we want to be one? It's not that first. If we want to be one, how? We haven't answered those questions, which is why I told President Akpabio of the Senate that it has taken 23 years to solve the problem of the Constitution. And I urged him, in conjunction with President Tinubu, to resolve the Nigerian constitutional question now by inviting the owners of Nigeria. The owners of Nigeria, mark you, were those who owned Nigeria before Lugard brought his
amalgamation in 1914. Call them in. These are the people who own the country, and ask them questions. What do you want to see of the Constitution? Because without a Constitution, we're going nowhere. And no one will doubt the fact that the Constitution bequeathed by the military in 1999 is unsatisfactory. You can't build anything out of a weak foundation. The economic development policy of President Tinubu, the political development policy of President Tinubu, and everything else he wants to do rests on a very solid foundation. So let him immediately resolve that. How can we spend 23 years looking for a foundation for building a house? Does that make sense to anybody? So that's my number one issue. We need to resolve this issue of, do we want to be one? And mark you, the flip side of the question is that we mustn't be one, because Yugoslavia, which was 6 countries under Marshal Tito, when he died, decided to break apart. And today, a lot of them are very strong countries: Macedonia, Croatia, Slovenia, Slovakia. They're all doing well. So there is no sacrosanctity about Nigeria being one country. There's none. I personally would wish for Nigeria to be one country, but we must agree. Now, that is the problem. Because we have not agreed, and because the National Assembly has appropriated to itself the all-knowing wisdom of giving us a constitution, that is the weakness. So that's the starting point.
Do we want to be one? Ṣé a fẹ́ jẹ́ ẹ̀yà kan? Mo kí ẹ, Sister Mashake. Mo kí bàbá wa Ọlárẹ̀wájú, kí n sáré kí àwọn èèyàn wa torí àsìkò tí ń súnmọ́. Gbàdámọ́sí Ismaila, mo kí yín. John Dani, mo kí yín. Adéwálé Adéṣọyè, mo kí yín. Tony Adégún, mo kí yín. Mo kí Jọbí Olúwagbàmí, mo kí yín sà. Àsìkò láyé, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, àsìkò láyé, ká lò dáadáa, mo kí yín. Ìbùkún Olúwa, mo kí yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, ẹ ṣé gan for the super chat. Mo kí Skytech, Only Yòrùbá Nation no going back. Mo kí Yàwá Bọ́lá Ògójì, ẹ ṣé gan ni. Happy Sunday. This is the first Sunday. Mo kí Mr. Ọláyínká Ọ̀kanláwọn, mo kí yín. But Bishop Adesina, the fight will last 3 to 1.5 years. 3 years is a serious fight. 6 months is of negotiation, then they split out. So the longer tá bá ń pẹ́ pé a fẹ́ lọ sínú that stage of the pullout, the more that we will give the politician the room to enjoy, and they will die, their family will. Tinubu is being prepared for your next governor of Lagos State. Mo kí bàbá wa Johnny Dani, mo kí Captain, mo kí Doctor, mo kí ní Birmingham, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní few weeks ago for the rally and the dinner, and ẹ̀yin tẹ́ délé wa náà fún díkan àdékejì. Mo kí àwọn ti Manchester, mo kí ìyàwó olórí Èkó, mo kí gbogbo àwọn tíìmù wa ní Belfast, mo kí àwọn ti Germany, mo kí gbogbo wa káàkiri gbogbo ibi tí a bá wà ní àgbáyé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá. Mo kí ẹ̀yin ti Libya, and please, we always have different groups that are already in operation. Ẹni tó bá tó fẹ́ dá group sílẹ̀, ní kẹ́ má dá group sílẹ̀. Like I always say, WhatsApp group is just to coordinate. But people, àwọn èèyàn ti sọ WhatsApp group bí èmi mo wà ńbẹ̀, èmi ni admin, ma locking out. No. Ṣé rí kí n tó lọ sínú ibi tí mo fẹ́ lọ again, because this is important. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe sùúrù fúnra wa. Mọ́ra wa rí, but blood kan náà ló ń stream lára wa. So ẹ má jẹ́ kẹ́ni kankan kó lọ sínú group tó mọ̀ kankan nípa tó ń ṣe níbẹ̀, ò gbé nílùú yẹn. Bí alátọ̀dọ̀ yín ni, kò sẹ́ni kankan tó complain nípa audio mi láti ìgbà tá a ti ń ṣe program ní wákàtí 2 àtàbọ̀. So bí alátọ̀dọ̀ yín ni, kò sí nǹkan tó rán pẹ̀lú audio mi. So mo bẹ̀ wá, gbogbo àwa tí a ní groups, ta set up group fún Yorùbá Nation. It's just a WhatsApp group. Kò ń ṣe government ló ní kẹ́ set it up. Ìjọba Yorùbá kọ́ ló ní kẹ́ set up. Ẹ kò set up pé ká lè wà nínú ojú kan. Èmi náà wà ní different group. Ibòmíì wà mo tẹ̀ ń sọ̀rọ̀, bò mo ń jú nǹkan sínú bẹ̀. Ìgbà míì nígbà míì a dẹ̀ máa ń kí yín. So gbogbo group yẹn ló ní admin nínú. But ẹni tó wá fẹ́ establish another group tí ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ wà wẹ́ pé ìlú yẹn wọ́n ti ní group, bí a kẹ́ find out kò sí bá ṣe fẹ́ ṣe lóòótọ́ ní UK nísìn many groups ló wà l'America many groups ló wà mo kí gbogbo àwọn ìlànà and they are doing very well aláwọn tó jẹ́ pé èèyàn kan pè mí láti Global Directorate ní I think last week Yorùbá làwọn náà but like I always say problem tá a máa ní as Yorùbá ni pé ó difficult fún wa ká fẹ́ wà lábẹ́ èèyàn kan pé òun ló máa jẹ́ the head so we always want to set up another hierarchy system báwo ṣe máa lọ máa wà lábẹ́ Ìgbòho àti bàbá Akíntóyè irọ́ o ẹ jẹ́ káwa náà set wọn but bàbá Akíntóyè ló là wá lójú kò ń ṣe bàbá Akíntóyè nìkan but bàbá Akíntóyè ni leader tó là wá lójú àwọn bàbá Adébánjọ là wá lójú àwọn là wá lójú pé a fẹ́ ṣe regional restructure bàbá yẹn ti dàgbà nísìn at 95 kọ́lọ́n túbọ̀ lọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀mí wọn so mo bẹ̀ wá ká ṣe sùúrù díẹ̀ yes going back to ntí bishop ń sọ mo kí brother mi Yẹmi Fatoki happy Sunday ó máa take 2 years and a half to 3 years tá bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ nísìn a wà ní 24 àbí 25 26 27 by 2027 Yoruba nation will be finally become an independent country tá bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ nísìn or tá bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní around January 3 years yẹn máa jáde ní kíákíá so tá bá fi sílẹ̀ títí di 2027 that means pé ìgbà tá bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ yẹn náà ní 3 years yẹn máa tún jáde ọdún mẹ́ta la need láti fi pull out with gbogbo tó bá gbà kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà ọdún mẹ́ta la need and there will be food crisis. Food crisis máa wà gan. Food crisis máa wà gidi gan. Ẹ má believe pé torí Tinubu wà níbẹ̀ pé Tinubu ò ní react o using the military force on us because Tinubu kọ́ ló ń control military. So tóun bá tẹ̀ ń fẹ́ ṣe pé ẹ má ẹ̀ka lo aircraft láti lọ jù kan sísàlẹ̀ ẹ má ẹ̀ka pa àwọn tó máa ṣe àwọn táwọn tó ń lò nínú ilé àti tó ń lò níta. Sọ̀rọ̀ akànjókòó à ń ṣe program kan ní ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation o kò séye program tí bá jáde tí mò ń ṣe kọ́ ló máa gba country fún wa o ọdún mẹ́ta ni Yorùbá máa fi jàjà yẹn gbogbo ilé tá a ṣe ń jà ní ọdún mẹ́rin tá à ń ṣe nísìn awareness lásán la kàn ṣe o awareness ni o kò séye ọ̀rọ̀ tá a bá sọ díìsì dáàtì kò séye kọ́ọ̀lù tẹ bá pè wọlé kò séye ẹlòmíì tẹ̀ náà wọ́n ra data mọ́ it doesn't matter kò séye gbogbo nǹkan tí a bá ṣe pátá a gbọ́dọ̀ prepare fún ọdún mẹ́ta láti exit Nigeria yẹn officially. Àwọn kan lè ní bọ̀ kí ló dé tẹ̀ ṣe nígbà tí Buhari wà níbẹ̀ ó ṣe jẹ́ gbà tí Tinubu wà níbẹ̀ gbogbo alárí tó play out ọdún méjì lọ fi di olóyè mọ́lẹ̀ o Ọlọ́run ní dé wa mọ́lẹ̀ ọdún méjì báko lọ fi kódà intention wọn kò ń ṣe tọ́ba títí di wákàtí expectation àwọn míì ni pé Tinubu máa di Ìgbòho mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀nẹ̀ tó máa fi parí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ẹ̀. Mo kí brother mi isin TV happy Sunday sir ẹ̀dẹ̀kúṣẹ́ Olúwa Ọlọ́run túbọ̀ gba àdúrà wa délẹ̀ ọdún mẹ́ta la máa fi gbára wa jáde kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà tá a máa fi sọ pé happy independent. Anything short of that àìtí lọ sí stage yẹn nìyẹn but there will be food crisis because I need enough food reserve tá lè jẹ fún ọdún mẹ́ta kódà ní Nàìjíríà lè ní ẹ ní food reserve tó lè last yín fún 10 years. Gbogbo ibi tí wọ́n ń store oúnjẹ sí silos, they are all empties. Mo kàn mọ́mọ́ push ẹ̀ pé 10 years. Bí a kí n repeat èyí tí mo sọ. Mo kí sister mi Elaine Ọbáfẹ́mi àkópàdé àná wọn. A ní oúnjẹ ní Nàìjíríà as a government nínú silos tí ìlú kan bá bá wa jà nísìn, tí ìlú kan bí Niger tí Tinubu fi lọ bá jà. Yes, I want to hear the word happy independence, but it will be 3 years after Tabati strangulating Nigeria. Out of that 3 years, 6 months in negotiation, but 2.5 years la mafija. Tí any country bá Nigeria ṣe gbàs nísìn, Nigeria ò ní oúnjẹ nínú silos tó lè last wa fún 10 years. Gbogbo silos wa pátá, the whole farms, àwọn tó yẹ kó máa fún wa ní báwo la ṣe lè stock oúnjẹ. Kò ń ṣe oúnjẹ la fẹ́ stock, interface stock ní seed. A gbọ́dọ̀ tọ́jú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ seed because oúnjẹ máa bàjẹ́ nínú ogun, especially tó bá mọ bí tẹ́ gbóúnjẹ sí wá destroy ibẹ̀, which is what they are doing indirectly and directly pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ pé wọ́n wọnú oko. Àwọn èèyàn wọ́n ní farm, èmi ò ní farm. Hey, stop that. Èmi ò ní farm, but mo mọ̀ pé púpọ̀ nínú yín ẹ ní interest láti ní oko. Bàbá kan tẹ́ ń pè mí, bàbá Koiki, oko táwọn bá mi sọ yẹn, kíyàn kankan má bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ oko. Èmi ò sí Nàìjíríà, but a gbọ́dọ̀ ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ planning for the food shortage tá bá ti wọnú M1. Lóòótọ́, the closest border sí wa ní Benin Republic, but I see that route being destroyed quickly. Àwọn jihadists Tambaja wọ́n máa destroy that route between Benin àti ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Wọ́n máa destroy it. Now, can you reduce that, please? Because it's filtering through you. And eat what you have to eat quick so that you can go and sit in the living room. So, kí la máa ṣe? Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ́ bá gbọ́ bíbá ẹ̀, gbogbo seed tẹ́ bá lè tọ́jú, dry it up, kẹ́ tọ́jú ẹ̀. Ìjà ń bọ̀ o. Báwa fẹ́ jà bá jà, ìjà ń bọ̀ o. Ìjà yẹn lè má wáyé in another 5 years. Àdúrà tèmi ni pé kó tètè wáyé, kó last 3 years. Ká dẹ̀ declare independence wa. Or ká máa sọ pé kò ní wáyé, ká dẹ̀ wà nínú Nàìjíríà. Leave it on there, leave it there. So options tó wà lórí table fún ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń béèrè pé ọ̀nà wo la fẹ́ fi gba country. Bàbá mi Waris Jinadu ní seed and grain is a purchasing power and currency exchange for trade by barter and defense. Sí nínú government nísìn, ìyẹn mo ṣe ní individually. Kólúkálukú lọ mọ bó ṣe fi tọ́jú seed pamọ́. Kò ń ṣe seed tẹ́ máa ní access sí o for now. Because this crisis, ó máa dé o. Mo sọ pé lọ́dún yìí ló máa dé, mo sọ pé next year. But pé crisis ò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú Nàìjíríà, ó máa dé o. ẹ má kí anybody sọ fún wa pé kò ní dé. And oúnjẹ will determine how long the fight will go for. Was Russia to Ukraine? Russia paralyzed wheat gbogbo Ukraine. What blocked débi pé wọ́n jẹ́ kó jáde kúrò nínú Ukraine? Wheat. Pé wọ́n náà ń ṣe wheat lágbàáyé, ẹ máa mú Ukraine as number one. Sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation tá gbé dání kò ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ akàn kíra wa ṣàlàfíà lẹ́wà ń bẹ́ẹ̀. No, it's a serious situation láwa. But ẹ mọ̀ àti sọ́dẹ̀ fẹ̀ gbogbo platforms àti sọ́dẹ̀ eré. Ní a máa wo platform mi bá pé ṣé Yorùbá nation náà la gbé dání báyìí. Ìyẹn tó yẹ ká máa múra bí ogun lójoojúmọ́ òun lọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation. Ká máa múra bígbà tẹ́ pé ogun ti dé. Nígbà tá a bá ti sọ́dẹ̀ fẹ̀ tá a ti sọ́dẹ̀ eré pa. And that takes us from the reality. Àwọn tá a dẹ̀ fi bájà tó ń pè láwọn Fúlàní, they can fight very well. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká fojú di wọ́n pé wọ́n lè jà o. They are well trained to fight. Púpọ̀ náà wà nísìnyí àwa well trained to fight. I am not trained to fight. Púpọ̀ nù wa tá a náà fẹ́ gba country, we are not trained to fight. A kì í ṣe ẹni tó train. Ṣé rí gbogbo àwọn region àwọn Middle East yẹn, they are trained to fight. Fighter ni wọ́n. And as my brother Triple DRS, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa, kájọ pàdé ní dinner, seeing him for the first time, I now realize that bàbá yóò ṣe ghost kan ló ń fún mi lówó. I love you too so much. Ẹ bá ń kí gbogbo àwọn tèmi ní village. Wọ́n ní in as much as bá fẹ́ tọ́jú seed, ẹ má gba GM lọ́wọ́ Bill Gates o. Genetic modify ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀ GM. Wọ́n ti ń pín ní Nàìjíríà báyìí náà. Àná fún wọn lágbàdo tó máa tètè wù. You trust Bill Gates, that is on your own prerogative. So Yorùbá ṣe rí gbogbo àwọn irú tí Gani Adams ní òun lọ́mọogun yẹn. Àwọn ọmọ ogun yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ máa fara hàn pé yes ọmọ ogun ni wọ́n. Ẹ̀yin ò rí Àsárídòkúbọ̀. Kí ló ṣe tí Gani Adams náà ẹ kọ́ àwọn ọmọ yẹn jáde bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ̀ kọ́ palẹ̀ wọn lọ́wọ́ kọ́tẹ̀ fi síta fún àwọn Fúlàní pé a wà ń bíbá yo. Because bá ṣe gbọ́ ó náà lọ́mọ ogun tó pọ̀ ẹ̀wọ̀n káwọ̀ lọ́mọ ogun. Self-determination làwọn fẹ́. But àwọn tó lọ́mọ ogun yẹn ó yẹ káwọn darapọ̀ mọ́ self-determination káwọn jẹ́ tó máa protect wa. But nígbà tí bàbá aláṣọ funfun tó protect wa nísìn, bá ṣe fẹ́ lọ party, bá ṣe fẹ́ ṣe this, ìwọ̀nba tó níyẹn ni ká kójọ ká má tún sọ pé a tún wá sí. Because àwọn tó kójọ yẹn nísìn àmọ́ òun là ń gbọ́ tán náà máa ń bára wọn jà, wọ́n ń ṣe ìjàmbá fáwọn kan, wọ́n ń ṣe gbogbo yẹn kọ́ la need. We need to be formidable to fight for 3 years non-stop. Kó máa dún pàgbó kó máa mọ̀ pé yé wèrè làwọn eléyìí o bí prophet Beton ṣe máa ń sọ torí wèrè ní gbogbo wa. But à ń tọ́jú wèrè pamọ́, wèrè míì dẹ̀ fẹ́ wá pa wá. Ó dà ń pẹ́ gbọ́ mi. A tọ́jú wèrè wa pamọ́. Ẹ má yẹ kán mọ̀ pa ní wèrè o. Ẹ má yẹ kán mọ̀ pa ní wèrè o. But àwọn wèrè kan wà nísìnyí tó fẹ́ unleash havoc. Tẹ́ bá mọ̀ tó ń pè ní havoc, HAVOC, havoc burúkú. Ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé táwọn bá prepare havoc yẹn ṣe rí ẹni tó bá kọ́kọ́ gbára wọn létí ni. Tá bá fún wọn láyè dáadáa tó bá gbá wa létí gbàsgbòs. Ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé gbogbo wa máa lọ retreat, àyà wa máa já, a máa sá lọ. òun ló ṣe rí Ìgbòho as the stumbling block. Ètò yìí kù 10 minutes. Òun ló ṣe rí bàbá olóyè Ìgbòho as the 10 minutes. Òun ló ṣe rí as a stumbling block because wọ́n mọ̀ pé Ìgbòho ò ní gbà fighter ní Ìgbòho tọ́lọ́hun dá. Eléyìí sọ̀rọ̀ èèyàn lóògùn, ọ̀rọ̀ ògùn kan leléyìí o. Fighter ní Ìgbòho, and they can see it in his face, they can see it in his body language, they can see it, and wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé àwọn agbègbè kan wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá fighter ni wọ́n. Tá bá ní ká lọ sí gbogbo àwọn òkè ògùn yẹn, àwọn yẹn fighter ni wọ́n. Àwa táwa lógùn state à ń ṣe real fighter o. Àwa táwa ní Lagos àwa ò tẹ̀ ń ṣe fighter. Tá bá ní àwọn fighters àwọn jagunjagun gidi nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, ọ̀nà òkè lọ́hùn lọ́wà wọ́n sí nísàlẹ̀. And all they are doing now is they're just sitting back and waiting. Hey, please, I'm almost done. Tabana fẹ́ dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ nísìn, kò ń ṣàwọn tí Gani Adams kó jọ sí Lagos State ló máa jà o. Ìyẹn ni Gani Adams náà ṣe ń lọ sókè Ògùn lọ́hùn tó lọ ń set up establishment of OPC. Because wọ́n mọ̀ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ gangan làwọn jagunjagun wà. But kí ló dé tí kò fẹ́ align pẹ̀lú bàbá Akíntóyè? Òun ni ká bí Gani Adams. Kí ló dé tí Gani Adams kò fẹ́ align pé ká gba Yorùbá yìí, ká gba tọkàntọkàn? Because already òun àti Tinubu agree anyway. Gani Adams àti Tinubu agree. Everybody knows that. But kí ni nǹkan tó ń bẹ̀rù fún? Ṣé ikú náà ni Gani Adams ń bẹ̀rù ni? Ṣèbírú àwọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ bẹ̀rù ikú, jagunjagun ni wọ́n. And these are pertinent questions tá gbọ́dọ̀ máa bira wa as we are moving forward. Kí ló dé tí kò ṣe fẹ́ align? What is his own stake? A lot have been said kò ń ṣe ọmọ Yorùbá, ìyẹn kọ́ lè mi dìmú nísìn. Kí ni stake Gani Adams nílẹ̀ Yorùbá? Because if he rise up, I'm sure support will come from different parts of the globe as well. If he truly rise up to defend that Yorùbás, kò ń ṣe defend the tẹnu là ń sọ, defend the tọkàntọkàn inú ẹ̀mí, báwa náà ṣe ń jagun warrior nínú media. Because media lèmi, èmi ò mọ bó ṣe ń yìnbọn. But pé à ń jagun media kò tí sì bá ẹni tó lè dúró pé èmi náà dúró dáadáa. Mo dẹ̀ sọ pé èmi náà máa wà lójú ogun. Èmi náà máa sọ kalẹ̀ kò ń ilé òun ṣe pé ó ṣe máa sọ fẹ́yàn. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká bá lọ. Many journalists have died in the course of war. But púpọ̀ ní yín bẹ̀rù because you don't want to die. And you can't get freedom if you are not prepared to die. You got to prepare to die for it. And that is the reason why Yoruba nation is still far behind. And we got to be truthful with ourselves. If you're not ready to die, I am ready to commit myself into this at any time. I don't need a lot. I just need my gadget because I want to document things. If anything happens, somebody else will pick that camera and will look into the record of what was recorded. Because you will need everybody on the war front. You need the nurses, you need the doctors, you need all the experts, you need the engineers, you need the cameramen. And they can train us how to handle weapons. Gbogbo yẹn kò ń ṣe tó máa ń pẹ́. Dìímú máa mid mi. But don't expect pé àwọn ajagunta kan fẹ́ wá bá yín assist yín láti jà. Nígbà táwa fúnra wa gan náà fẹ́ jà. So when people say, hey, go and bring ajagunta, no. We have enough human bodies to defend that Yoruba land. But we are already divided. Bó bá àwọn global directorate kó ṣe meeting látọ̀la dọ̀la, Yoruba nation is not going to come on the social media. Baba Akintoye knows that that is the end game. But Baba is 89. Don't expect Baba to announce that we will go and fight. But Baba ti fi èdè bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ pé crisis must erupt in Yoruba land for us to exit. That crisis will last 3 years. Anything short of that, I say happy Sunday and enjoy the rest of the day. That's all I can say. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí pé ẹ ṣé tẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní ìkànnì wa tó ń pè ní Koikimedia ní àkọ́kọ́ ọjọ́ Sunday ti oṣù November. It is now countdown to whether Biafra activate or not. I will only say I pray that their activation starts. How will that impact and affect us? Time will tell. Simon Ekpa says that they will declare, but he also said that a declaration will mean that they were ready to fight the government even if it's going to take 20 years. So because mọ̀ dájú pé declaration kan ló máa fáwọn ní ìjọba tiwọn, because Nigerian government will still be operating in Biafra land, but there will be woto, airborne. That is what you are waiting for. When we should also be preparing to wait for our own exit. Benny, that whole farm sọ pé I can testify about that. They are warriors. Àwọn tó wà lókè ògùn, warrior gidi ni wọ́n. Mo dẹ̀ kí gbogbo wọn táì fẹ́ dárúkọ. Mo kí ìyàwó Títílọlá Shaw, Ibrahim Akanji mo kí ẹ, Peter Alade. I'm 3 minutes away out of the program. Ìyàwó Fúnmi Stella. Any Nigeria is a sovereign country. I wonder why we believe that only Britain can come and divide us. Follow Kemi from her past decoration. I know she's not your savior. There's no way Tia Sokwe. I think interface Nigeria is a sovereign country. Well, I agree, maybe to some extent, but it's also not a sovereign country. Nobody have ever said, and we have said this clearly, even the letter to Downing Street is not to tell them to break Nigeria. I don't know the content, but the letter is a diplomatic way to say that the Yoruba have the right to self-determination. I have talked about Kemi Badenoch yesterday very well. Biatebalo program yema. Kemi Badenoch, I don't trust her from there to there. Okonje Olukemini means nothing to me. Tebalo program Timoshe Laleano. She's well against the British crime against humanity for slave trade, for apologies. Not only just apology, for even to pay us back. Church of England was built on slave trade. Buckingham Palace was built on slave trade. So nobody is here to say that Britain will give us our country, but are we warriors enough to stop Britain from being operating on Yoruba land? That is a question that you should ask yourself, every single one of us. How do we do that? 1 million people will shut every businesses of Britain inside the Southwest, including all other countries that are still engaging in Nigeria, until every one of them will be forced to tell the government that the end of Nigeria is here. Soviet Union, where Lithuania in 1990, 34 years ago, declared their independence, in as much as Soviet Union was powerful than Nigeria as at the time. Lithuania is now a 2.8 million country embedded in another country called the EU, where they have a better life. So don't be deceived by Kemi Badenoch that you will get anything from her. But it is good to engage her, but our interest remains for the British monarch system. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that clarified the comment Yami Fumi Stella. Yawa Taiwo Kike Fasami, thank you so much. Daniel Oyede, good morning. Ige James, Alan Conde, Adeleke Additional, and the rest of you. If I didn't mention your name, don't be upset. It's just that time did not permit me. Happy Sunday, Ogumola Biodun, and the rest of you. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. Shout out to all the people on the Twitter, and it's exactly 3 hours, and I say good morning. Ishewa funlewa, forile ibiwa, kagbega, kagbega, kagbega faleri, ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé batiberu labomo, kashishe, 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 kajola, ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira. Nìkẹ́jẹ́ ká máa lépa ìtẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára ọmọ odò àdédé bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Ògo yẹn ìjà la máa fi yọ kúrò nínú ibi tó wà kí ó lè tàn ságbàáyé. Yorùbá Nation Lafe TV, thank you so much. And the rest of you, happy Sunday. God bless Yoruba people. God bless Biafra. God bless Arewa. God bless all the freedom fighters. And God bless me myself. Bye for now.